Following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Indiana.
This is one of the longest and most storied rivalries in college football. Wabash and DePauw first played in 1890 and have met every season since 1911. And the prize is possession of the Monon Bell for the next year. It's the 125th Monon Bell Classic presented by the Cancer Treatment Centers. Welcome to Hollett Little Giant Stadium in Crawfordsville on the campus of Wabash College. I'm Kevin Lee. Thanks for joining us today on a beautiful day, which feels like the first day of winter. We have both sides well represented. From Wabash, Steve Hoffman is joining us, and from DePauw, it's Brad Wochomurka. And Steve, you have the perspective of playing quarterback in this classic game.
I did, and there's nothing like it. It's interesting to see how these young men react. This is a crowd that most Division III players don't see. Few players in the country see it, so I just hope they enjoy the atmosphere.
Brad, you're back as a broadcaster, which is how you started while you played baseball at DePauw, but then you played football your last 2 years.
Yeah, I got to experience the game from multiple angles, Kevin, and really there is nothing like it. Like Steve said, there are memories that will be made on this field. They're going to last a lifetime for these players, their families, the coaches. It's an incredible Division III atmosphere.
DePauw is used to competing for playoff berths. It's not gone as well as they would like this year, 4-5, and one of the reasons is because their quarterback, Matt Labus, tore his ACL in the first half of the first game, and we thought he was done for the year.
Yeah, it's an amazing story, Kevin. Matt Labus actually tore his ACL after game number 4 last year, was on pace to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Then first game, does it again this year, elects not to have surgery. Now he's back. Last week, got in the game, threw a touchdown pass, and he's going to have some weapons. Andy Hunt, senior wide receiver. He leads all active Division III wide receivers in touchdown catches. So Labus is back. He's got weapons. It's going to be fun to watch.
Steve, Wabash has certainly had their share of adversity, including on the field, losing 2 of their top running backs, and they have a first-year quarterback.
First-year quarterback Jake Reed, number 7, see how he reacts to this big game. But he's got some experienced weapons in 2 four-year starters, number 2, Oliver Page, number 5, Ryan Thomas, and then big play receiver, number 4, Rashad Jones.
Well, something is on the line. Wabash can still get to the postseason with an 8-1 record, but the records don't matter here. It's the Bell game, and it's coming up on Fox Sports Indiana.
Welcome back to Crawfordsville, Indiana on the campus of Wabash College, where we are getting set to kick off the 125th Monon Bell Classic. And this is a game that has stood the test of time across 3 different centuries. When it began, Benjamin Harrison was president, but over the years, that rivalry has only intensified. DePauw and Wabash have split the last 2 games by less than 5 points. But Wabash, they own 8 of the last 10, including the all-time record. But when I talked to the DePauw players earlier this week, they told me they're not letting all that noise get to them. You can hear it right now. They think their pass rush defense is the key to holding off Wabash today and getting that 300-pound bell, Monon Bell, back to Greencastle. Kevin?
And the Wabash side is already actively enjoying the fruits of holding the bell. We're going to hear that throughout the day, but it is the battle for the bell. Thanks for joining us today. It is chilly. It's still fall, but it feels like the first day of winter. This is the coldest day we've had of the season. Temperatures greet us this morning in the low 20s. It is warmed up to 30 degrees now, but luckily we have sunshine, not that much wind. It doesn't feel that bad, all things considered.
Yeah, no kidding. But it wouldn't be the Monon Bell game, Steve, I think, without some kind of weather storyline. You know, these players, they'll get in the game. They won't feel it that much, but it's just a beautiful atmosphere for this great game.
It's really not too bad with the sun out, but we've seen this game, in the 60s and sunny. We've seen it raining. We've seen it snowing. I've seen it when the play's going on one end of the field and they're plowing the snow off at the other end of the field at the same time.
There's former Indiana and Butler coach in his second stint as the head coach of DePauw, Bill Lynch. He's 2-4 in Bell games, 47-22 in his 7th season in Greencastle, one of the great men in college football. And Dan Morrell is in his third season, and what success he's had after previously serving as an assistant at Wabash. He's 24-5, 72-64 in his 15th season overall as a college head football coach. Both coaches said that we'd really like to defer if we win the toss. We don't want to take a chance of them scoring and then getting the ball to start the second half. Well, DePauw won the toss. They defer, so Wabash is going to get it first. We're going to get a chance to see Isaac Avant, their outstanding junior running back from Warren Central in Indianapolis. He is back deep to receive the kick from Jake Tanner, one of the great kickers in college football. The senior from Zionsville didn't play high school football. University High School didn't have a high school football team. He said, "Coach, can I give this a try?" It's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, kickers are always quirky, right, Kevin? I mean, there's always a story behind a place kicker, and DePauw's got one here. But, you know, early in this game, I think, Steve, you know all about it. Momentum is so key. We'll see what Wabash can do here on offense, but so much emotion. How you play early is really important.
We were talking before the game how every game has ups and downs, but the Monon Bell game kind of amplifies those, if you will. An up is more of an up, and a down is definitely more of a down. So we'll see how each team handles it.
It's Wabash. It's DePauw for the 125th time. The Monon Bell Classic is underway. Avant fields the kick at the 10, and he is hammered. Shy of the 20-yard line, stood up, and Wabash will start with forward progress at the 19.
Dylan Hyatt with a great special teams play right there against a very dangerous return man of the Little Giants. So nice start for DePauw. We talked about the momentum, and now we'll see what the Little Giants can do on offense.
When you talked, Kevin, earlier about Isaac Avant, we haven't said much about him yet, but this young man has really come on this year, starting off a little slowly. He's really started to run really hard. Ends up right now over a 1,000-yard rusher for the year.
Jake Reed, his first year as a starter. He is a transfer from Mount Union, the small college powerhouse, and small college really isn't giving them credit. 16 touchdowns, just 5 picks. He's back to pass on the first play of the game, and he's going to air it out deep down the field. It's a jump ball, and it's incomplete. Intended for Rashad Jones, their deep threat, the track star. Couldn't hang on to that one, but they went after it.
Well, they sure did. I didn't see that coming, I got to tell you. One thing Coach Morrell said is that they wanted to be successful on first down. I thought we might run the ball to see what we could get, but Coach Morrell gone for the jugular right here and just gone deep to the speedster, Jones.
Reed underthrew it a little bit. Jones had to wait up, and there was good coverage, so now it's second down and 10 as we look at the guys up front. Starting for Wabash and their skill positions. It's a handoff to the right side. Avant looking for room. It gets a yard or two before he's pushed out of bounds, and 3rd and 8 is coming up.
This is going to be a fun matchup to watch. This DePauw defense, 4th in the nation against the rush, and obviously Wabash can run the football, so a matchup we'll have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and Olmi Olmstead, the offensive line coach for Wabash, thinks the front 3 for DePauw is really good, and their middle linebackers are really good. They're just good and physical.
Watch for Nate Orison, the defensive end, 11.5 sacks. He is 7th in the nation in sacks per game. 3rd and 8 now coming up from the 21 on the first possession of the game. Reed from the gun, back to pass, throwing deep over the middle of the field. He's got a man. It's caught in stride by Ryan Thomas, and he's going to go the distance. Wabash on the board first with a big play on 3rd and 8 to take a 6-0 lead in the Bell game.
Just a breakdown defensively by DePauw. 2 players in the secondary got caught up. Thomas ran right by him. A big-time mistake by the Tiger defense to start, just a mental error, and what a throw and catch and run there by the Little Giants.
It was. We talked about Jake Reed and Ryan Thomas and their stand-up before the game, and there we go in the 3rd play of the game, a big play. And you're right, Brad. The safety was right there ready to make the play. I didn't see anything happening with it when the ball was in the air, and then just underran the ball and laid right in Thomas's hands.
Ryan Thomas has started the Bell game all 4 years. His 4th touchdown of the season. Point after is up, and it is good for Skylar Narig. And 52 seconds in, Wabash has a 7-0 jump.
Yeah, there's that momentum, guys, that we talked about. I mean, what a big play. And you look at, DePauw, 2 nice plays defensively. Wabash looked kind of a little confused on offense. Not something we thought we'd see them go deep first play, and then 3rd and long, and just a breakdown there between the safety and the corner. And that's a backbreaker for DePauw early. But like you said, Kevin, it's only 52 seconds in, so a lot of game left.
Yeah, this is where you see where DePauw, how they're going to react to this. One of the knocks on Jake Reed this year, man, was the fact that he underthrew a lot of deep guys. I saw it throughout the year. That time he did not. and I think it's into the teeth of the wind a little bit, so he laid that down right where he needed to.
Quick strike, 3 plays, 81 yards. They tried to go deep on the first play of the game. Reed underthrew his man just a bit. That time the pass was perfect. Ryan Thomas takes it to the house, 79 yards. So Narig now set to kick off. And Andy Hunt and Michael Grace also back deep. Fielded from the 7. It's Hunt up to the 15-20, dancing his way, looking for some room down at the 22-yard line.
Well, a good chance here to see how the DePauw offense will respond in their first time with the football. And, you know, we mentioned it, they can throw the ball too. And Matt Labus coming back out. Andy Hunt, who we saw there, is a big play wide receiver. Be interesting to see watch the rushing attack for DePauw. I mean, this is a team that really doesn't have that bell cow tailback. They'll put it in the hands of 4 or 5 different running backs throughout the course of the afternoon. So running back by committee approach for the Tigers. And we'll see what they try to do early on in this one on offense.
Matt Labus is getting the start at quarterback today. The senior from Guerin Catholic in Westfield was thought to be lost for the season with a torn ACL. He played a little bit last week. He gets the start this week, and a handoff and first down brings up a flag, and short running room for Ramon Lopez. He gets the start at running back, the senior from St. Charles, Illinois. Chase Andrews is the other quarterback, and he will play today. Bill Lynch told us before the game.
Yeah, and a different type of quarterback, too. Andrews can run the ball a little bit more, so a couple different flavors of offense we may see from the Tigers.
Offense. 5 yards.
And not a type of penalty you want on offense. Have a legal formation. My guess is they only had 6 men on the line, too many in the backfield, and that's something that Coach Lynch really would like to start off the game with, especially after a big play by Wabash.
Coach has got to love that, right? You know, legal formation, that's just mental to start the game.
He's in somebody's ear right now. We just don't know who.
Brad, you mentioned that they have not run the ball that effectively. Andrews, the backup quarterback, actually leads them in gross yards, 217 on the season. This time it's a quarterback keeper. Labus from the gun will get it back to the 21-yard line. So Labus, starting his second game of the season after starting the opener, is the quarterback. Tanner Cleveland is listed as the starting tailback. We saw Lopez in there. And here are the guys up front. And the receivers, tight end, Dak Schnazy. Back to pass now on second down and underthrowing on the out pattern. One of the wide receivers, that's Evan Wiggum. Defensively for Wabash, watch for Don Shook. 6 sacks, one of their defensive ends. He leads them in that category, and 10 tackles for loss this season. Brody and Bucina, the others up front. Bishop Rhodes, one of their co-captains. Brandon Yagi is their leading tackle, one of their outside linebackers. And a good cornerback and safety. Jake Page, Jose Franco, Artie Akiwa, the safety, Pat Kelly, the other cornerback. Third down long now, 12 from the gun. Labus back to pass, throwing towards the sideline, had a chance, it's incomplete. Looking for Wiggum, good coverage on the play, and a 4th down coming.
Yeah, freshman on that play, Jose Franco. Can't tell, Brad, if he got a hand on it or not, but it ended up hitting the hands. Thought he might have a chance, but I think it got tipped by the freshman.
Yeah, one play after it looked like Labus and Wiggum weren't kind of on the same page. That was a nice little wheel route and a good throw by Labus. Good sign for DePauw early, but just unable to make the 3rd and long conversion there, and now DePauw to punt.
Ty Johnson Jr. from Shelbyville High School averages 38 yards per punt. Standing back inside his 10, will just barely get this one away, and it's off the side of his foot a little bit, and it takes a sideways bounce, and Wabash will start inside DePauw territory with their 2nd possession of the game. So a great start for Wabash on 3rd down, their 3rd play of the game. Deep over the middle, Jake Reed finding Ryan Thomas. Wabash with the ball back, leading the bell game 7-0. From Little Giant Stadium in Crawfordsville, it's the Monon Bell Classic. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin Lee, Brad Wochomurka, Steve Hoffman, Katie Hargitt. 7-0. Wabash has the early jump, scoring on a 79-yard bomb over the middle from Jake Reed to Ryan Thomas on their third play, and now they get it starting at the DePauw 45. A quick out. That's the running back, Avant, trying to find some room over on the side, and he'll get a quick 7 or so. Call it 6 down to the 39, 2nd and 4.
And Isaac Avant has become that type of player where they actually are finding ways to get him the ball. They're a little screen outside to your best runner. Let's get him the ball out there and outside.
Avant was supposed to be their 3rd running back. Ike James led the conference in rushing last year. He got hurt early in the season. Austin Hoover got hurt. But no matter who they put in there, they get the job done. Over 250 yards per game rushing, but they're going to the air here early. This one is a little bit too tall, out of the reach of Oliver Page, setting up 3rd and 4.
You go into a game like this, you talk about one powerhouse rushing offense, a powerhouse rushing defense, and of course they're throwing the ball around everywhere. But both coaches said that, Bill Lynch and DePauw said we have to be wary of what they can do through the air. They're very efficient when they throw the ball, and so far Wabash showing that early on.
Yeah, and I think both teams will really think they're going to be successful if they can have a balanced attack.
3rd and 4 now. From the gun, Reed back to pass, looking, pump fake, and too tall again for the 6'5" Oliver Page. So 4th down inside DePauw territory, and Wabash is still going to elect a punt here and play field position.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting decision. You're kind of in that no man's land. You definitely can't try a field goal from here. But you don't want to pin them deep in a game like this and try to just keep field position.
So Joey Ane, who took over just a few games ago as the punter, averages 38 yards on his 9 punts of the season. He's standing back just inside his own territory. Andy Hunt is back to receive this, and he'll have a chance to short one, and it goes out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. So perfectly placed by Joey Ane to pin DePauw back deep inside their own territory. So DePauw gets their 2nd opportunity of the game, and we'll see Matt Labus again, normally number 22, wearing number 32, Katie, today for a very special reason.
Yeah, and that's because he's honoring his former high school teammate, Evan Hansen. He's a Wabash linebacker who passed away earlier this year. You may also see those number 32 stickers on the Wabash helmets. But when I talked to Matt earlier this week, he told me Evan has been on his mind all week long. The Hansens asked him to sport that number 32 in today's game. They never got to play against each other in this game, but he's carrying him with him all day today. Kev?
It has been a difficult season, and it impacted the DePauw program as well. Bill Lynch and Matt Labus also went to the funeral, and for the Wabash kids, it's really remarkable that they put together an 8-1 season under these circumstances.
It's been a strange year around campus, kind of off and on with something like that tragic happening, but they've really worked hard.
2nd down after Labus doesn't get much on 1st down. This one goes straight up the middle. It is Lopez bouncing it to the outside, finding just a little bit, making a more manageable 3rd down.
That's a great second effort by Lopez, because otherwise DePauw would have been looking at 3rd and long once again. So now you've got a few more options here offensively as we see Lopez bounce off a few tackles here and really give DePauw probably their biggest offensive play to date. And this is going to be a big 3rd down to try to get a little bit better field position and see what you can do offensively.
So 3rd and 3 coming for Bill Lynch's team. Brett Dietz is the offensive coordinator. From the gun, Labus back to pass, has lots of time, looks left, now finds some room to keep it and slides for the 1st down. Out to the 23-yard line, Labus using his legs. Keep in mind, he tore his ACL in the opener. He was due to have surgery, but we saw that last week, him run for a 1st down.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm cringing every time he runs, just knowing what's going on in that knee. But what a warrior out there and picking up a big 1st down for DePauw.
So first down of the game on their 2nd possession for DePauw. They go to work now from their 22-yard line. Labus from the gun again, draw play. Lopez up the middle, pushing his way forward for 5, maybe 6 yards.
The Wabash defense, if you look at their personality this year, they don't really have a personality. They just got 11 pretty good football players running around out there. I said something to defense coordinator Jeff Ramsey the other day. It feels like we got like 11 good linebackers running around. Nobody's really carrying the load, but they're all quick and they're all pretty good tacklers.
2nd and 6 from their 27, trailing 7-0. Andy Hunt on the jet sweep gets out to the 31-yard line and is going to set up about a 3rd and 1.
Well, they'll do anything they can to get Andy Hunt involved. In fact, he's among the leading rushers for DePauw as well. He's a senior playmaker. He's known for his ability at the wide receiver position, but he's so athletic and can really make things happen with his legs.
I, too, would do everything I can to get the ball in 17's hands.
58 catches, 9 touchdowns this season. He leads active Division III players in career touchdowns with 39. He's led DePauw in catches all 4 seasons. 3rd and a long one here, and it's a handoff, and it's another 1st down. Lopez will get it.
Just chipping away for DePauw here early on this drive. Another big 1st down, though, and Lopez sort of carrying the load early on, and we'll see if that remains the case throughout the course of the afternoon.
And look, the way this game started with the big play by Wabash and really a bad punt by DePauw and some poor field position, all really Coach Lentz wants to do here is at least move the chains and get some momentum moving. We talked about momentum being so important in this game.
Lopez is one of 6 different running backs, one of 3 seniors. They have many options. This time, Labus is going to try to go down deep, and it's out of the reach of his intended receiver. And that's the tight end, Blake Pichelny, or one of the tight ends. So 2nd down coming.
Well, if Wabash defense doesn't know where 17 is on every play, I guarantee they're not doing what they're supposed to do, because they will know where Andy Hunt is. And you can see them on the coverages. If they find out where he is, you'll see them rotating that direction a little bit before the snap, around the snap. They would like 1, maybe 2 sets of eyes on him.
2nd down gun, fake the handoff, and Labus will keep it himself and not really go anywhere.
Yeah, that didn't look great.
And he is hobbled.
He really, as he tried to cut, went down in an awkward manner, and you really hope that for Matt Labus, this isn't something that takes him out of the game. It does not look good at all.
Yeah, that's just a shame, and fortunately, it's not something that they thought he would hurt worse or he wouldn't be out there. It's just something they knew would do what it did right here.
As he said, I can't do anything else. I still need to have ACL surgery,
right.
So he was willing to take that risk. He was going to have it after the season ended regardless. But unfortunately, he comes up gimpy here. Still a fantastic story as we see Chase Andrews coming into the game to be able to come and play in the Bell game. He missed it last year, got a chance to start this year. Unfortunately, it appears like it's going to end early for Matt Labus.
That's just too bad. I mean, an amazing story for this kid to be able to come back and play in this game, play last week too. But if you're DePauw, you've got Chase Andrews in here now, who's really been a quarterback primarily for most of the season. He gets his opportunity here, and you just got to keep going if you're the Tigers.
And he brings a different dimension. He can run the ball. 3rd and 9. So DePauw is going to use a timeout, and that makes sense when you make the change like that. You need a moment to regather.
I'm going to say, Kevin, yeah, this is a good timeout by Bill Lynch here to gather your team after that injury to Labus.
So a significant twist in this game. Matt Labus out, Chase Andrews in. Wabash leads early 7-0 in the Bell game. Back in Wabash for the Monon Bell Classic. 7-0. Little Giants have the early advantage. 2nd possession of the game for DePauw. Big 3rd and 9 coming up for them. A quarterback change. Matt Labus back from a torn ACL in the opener after tearing the same ligament last year. He's gone out. Chase Andrews, who started much of this season now, is in as the quarterback for the Tigers. He's got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back to his left from the gun on 3rd down. Andrews going deep over the middle of the field and out of the reach of his intended receiver. He had a step, Andy Hunt, but just overthrew him a bit, and DePauw will have to punt. Boy, that could have tied this game up just like that.
What a way to come into the game if that's complete for Chase Andrews, the big play weapon in Andy Hunt. Like you said, Steve, Wabash with eyes on him all the time. 2 guys running with him, just overthrown.
It just shows what kind of speed Andy has. We got 2 guys looking at him. He still gets a step on a defender. And, with Labus out, Chase Andrews coming in, it's not like he hasn't been playing this year. 146 attempts, so they will let him put the ball in the air.
So Ty Johnson is in to punt. And that's Kyle Stroh back to receive the punt. And he will take it at his 27-yard line, retreat briefly, trying to cut to the sideline, and then he is hammered right there at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, you know, Wabash going for the block on that one. That leaves kind of the returner out to dry. And once he got past that first defender, there were 6 more waiting for him.
Well, it's the 125th time these two programs have met, the 12th most in college football, 6th most in Division III. At 100 going into that game, it was even. Wabash has had the advantage recently, winning 8 of the last 9. The last 2, though, have been decided by 4 points, with each team winning. Here we go at number 125, third possession of the game for the Little Giants, and it is a nice run. And that's the fullback, Matt Panola, getting a first down.
Yeah, and Matt Panola has really come into his own this year because he's been everywhere for the Little Giants. He'll run the ball, as you see there. He's one of their top receivers, I believe, a second or third on receptions for the year. He also will play some tight end and slot, and is a very, very good blocker. Just a good physical football player.
He was the featured back a couple of years ago, ran for over 800 yards. Now he's shifted into the fullback, tight end, wide receiver position. As you mentioned, he'll do anything. Fake handoff to Avan, over the middle. It's a slant for Oliver Page, and he's got it inside DePauw territory for a first down to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, the play action worked great there. You'll see here on the replay, it just draws the cornerback Hepp off of Page a little bit, right there, and Page wide open for an easy pitch and catch on the first down.
Yeah, and Wabash with 6'5" Page and 6'4" Thomas, who caught that touchdown pass earlier. Really some tall Division III receivers out there, and both 4-year starters, a lot of experience.
And then you add in a track star, and Rashad Jones is the third receiver. That's Page. He's one of 2 to the left. Handoff is Panola again, off right tackle, cuts it to the edge, and makes his move to get another 3-4 yards. It's going to end up being about an 8-yard gain to the 34-yard line before Hepp stops him.
Yeah, and interesting taking Isaac Avan, putting him out wide again. I'm sure that we had the option to throw the screen to him, but instead giving it to the big pounding number 31, Matt Panola.
I think Panola looks a little motivated in this game. That's 2 pretty strong runs, like a bulldozer. The DePauw defense is going to have a 31 tattoo right on those white jerseys if they're not careful.
He is a load. Second down. Reed looking deep, and he overthrows his man, and it's going to be picked off in the end zone by Dylan Hyatt. He'll bring it out of the end zone. 10, 15, 20. He's got more out to the 30, still on his feet, dancing down the sideline, cuts it back up, gets near midfield, and they'll say he stepped out of bounds just a bit earlier, but a huge play for the DePauw defense. Dylan Hyatt with the interception and the return.
And that just a great play, and a play the DePauw defense needed. And if you look at Hyatt, when we see this replay too, some good awareness, because he caught that ball outside of the end zone and ran his way into the end zone, and smart not to just take a knee, but to try to bring this thing out. And gosh, he did all the way to midfield.
And what they tried with Rashad Jones, what Wabash tried was a little hitch and go. And I tell you, he didn't bite at all, and he just stayed deep.
Let's see where he did step out of bounds. He's going to get another 6-7 yards. Yeah, clearly did step out of bounds there at the 41-yard line as we're going to mark it. The DePauw 41, and there was a penalty on the play.
Wabash, number 4. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run. DePauw ball, first down.
So that's Rashad Jones, who was the intended receiver.
Yeah, personal foul on the end of that play. You know, Don Morrell can't be happy there all around. Obviously, the interception with the long return, that could have been just like a long punt until the return, and now you tack 15 more on. You see Coach Morrell not happy.
Yeah, so you think about that play. You know, Wabash thrown deep into the territory. DePauw gets the interception, plus he tack on a 15. Really deep into the Wabash territory right now.
So now it's at the Wabash 44, and DePauw is in business. Now a chance for Chase Andrews to take control of this game. Coming off the bench, he knew he was going to play. That was the plan. And now it's his game, it appears, after the injury to Labus. Handoff on first down.
Very fortunate there for the Tigers. That ball popped out,
Yeah,
and one of the offensive linemen jumped on it. That was LaChapelle.
Yeah, sure was. Looked like Nick LaChapelle had jumped on it, and kind of bounced right up into his arms, and he just fell it.
So Lopez lost it. He stays in, offset to the right. Will Harris is the slot receiver to the right. He's dangerous. One of 4 receivers on second down and 9. Back to pass. Andrews over the middle. And it's caught. Nothing after the catch. That's Andy Hunt again for the short gain.
When making that tackle, Brandon Yagi, we'll call his name quite a bit today. Interesting, Wabash has 2 defensive players from the same little high school in Lafayette Central Catholic. Number 18, Jake Page, and number 45, Brandon Yagi, both starters.
Be interesting to see here if Bill Lynch is looking at this as maybe 4-down territory. We'll see what play he comes up with, but good to see Andy Hunt involved here, the DePauw Tigers.
3rd and 7 with the Tigers down a touchdown in the first quarter of the Bell game. Andrews flushed out, throws, and it's caught by Lopez, and it's going to be short of the first down. Stacked up at the 39. He gets a couple of yards. And this is decision time for Bill Lynch now. And it looks like the punting unit is going to come on. Andrews is coming off the field, and Ty Johnson is coming on.
I think if you get a few more yards there, you consider going for it on 4th down, but really only a gain of 1. And now you have a chance to flip the field a little bit. Wabash has been in plus territory most of the afternoon so far.
Stroh is back, standing at his 10 to take the punt. Johnson just inside his own territory. This is a high hanger, and it will sail into the end zone. Wabash will take it starting from their 20. Well, we mentioned Labus coming back from the torn ACL, playing in his 2nd game since going down in the opener. He limped off a little while ago. Katie, what do you know?
Well, I just checked in with the DePauw sideline, Kevin, and the team did confirm that Matt Labus is now out for the remainder of that game. He doesn't want to further injure that right knee, and I saw him on the sidelines. He's sitting on the sidelines, icing his knee, but he said he has full trust in Chase Andrews to take this W back to DePauw, Kevin.
So now the DePauw defense has to make a stand after they couldn't take advantage of the excellent field position. That could be a big twist in this game right there.
That's a bit, I mean, the Wabash defense, a great job there to get the ball back after the turnover and the penalty.
Starting from their 20, from the gun, Avance is going to lose a couple of yards. Swarmed by the DePauw defense.
Yeah, and this is what the Wabash offensive coach was worried about, was that front physicality by the front 3 from DePauw, and the linebackers filling quickly.
Zach Williams was one of those in on the play, and he's been out the last 3 games because of injury, so that's a big boost for DePauw to have him back defensively today. On 2nd down, on the run, quick throw, and it's caught over near the sideline, back at the original line of scrimmage by Oliver Page, so he gets a couple of them back, but a 3rd and 10 coming.
That's another nice play by Dylan Hyatt, the guy that had the interception a few minutes ago. He's had a big special team sit already, so Hyatt active early for DePauw, and now it's another 3rd and long here for Wabash.
And not what they want to be in. Wabash thinks first downs are really important in this game. Really haven't done a lot of good things on the first down, so 3rd and long really shrinks the playbook down.
By the way, for Hyatt, that was his first interception of the season. Came at a big time to keep Wabash off the board. Now the DePauw defense looking for a stop again. 3rd and 10 for the Little Giants. Did somebody jump? Were they drawn?
63, offense. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Right, Gutierrez, one of the guards, so make it a 3rd and 15 now.
Yeah, Brad, you talked about field position. Now look at this, the Wabash offense not going anywhere. The ball defense really stepping up. All of a sudden, the Wabash offense is in the shadows of their own goalpost.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the deep ball. We saw what happened early on a 3rd and long for a 79-yard touchdown. But DePauw, a lot of options here defensively now on 3rd and long.
Reed, draw play, straight up the middle to Avant. Makes one man miss, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's going to be it. Pick up a 4 or 5 on the play, and the DePauw defense stands up this time. Matt Krupe, their leading tackler, leads the charge.
I tell you what, though, without the play of Nicholson there, 47, got a foot on Avant early on, made him stumble. He had a lot of room to run. Didn't make the tackle, but slowed him up enough to let Krupe come in and finish him off.
And the Wabash coaches were talking about these linebackers of DePauw and how good they are, so you could see it right there on the quickness on running down Isaac.
Nicholson was another player that was a little bit iffy because of injury. Playing and making an impact. Andy Hunt back to receive the punt. Won't get a chance. This one is out of bounds early. Joey Ane, the punter, See where they marked that it went out of bounds, and it's going to be great field position, almost identical to the last possession for DePauw, starting at the Wabash 42-yard line.
One of the things we always talk about coming into these games, right, Brad, are how special teams can come into play. Now, we haven't had any big turnovers, any big returns or anything like that, but we've seen some punts that have made a difference, good or bad.
Well, we will go back throughout the day and enjoy some of the classic moments in Monon Bell history. Steve, you might be able to help us here with 1983, or maybe you prefer not to.
Well, I did throw a little bit behind Craig Harmon, and a good play by the defensive back. That was the last play of the game down in Greencastle.
And now a fumble by Andrews, and it's picked up, and Wabash is running with it, with daylight in front, all the way for a touchdown. Bishop Rhodes picks up the Andrews fumble and takes it to the house, and Wabash is now in front 13-zip.
A big mistake there. Turnovers are killer in these Bell games, and we'll wait to see the replay, but Andrews looked like just had the ball poked out, and a great play by Rhodes on the run to scoop it and take it the distance.
Right, neither offense doing a lot between the big play by Wabash and then the turnover by DePauw, and there's your score right there, and Bishop Rhodes, the senior, making that run.
54 yards on the fumble return, and Wabash trying to make a clean 2-touchdown advantage now. And the point after does squeak in for Skylar Narig, who's missed 6 point afters this season, and it's 14-zip for Wabash, both coming on big plays, one from the defense. Chase Andrews couldn't hang on to it. Bishop Rhodes is there to pick it up, and nobody had a chance to catch him. 14-0 Little Giants. The 125th Monon Bell Classic today from Crawfordsville, and Wabash has a 14-0 jump on DePauw. Former Wabash quarterback Steve Hoffman, former DePauw wide receiver Brad Wochomurka, Katie Hargitt, Kevin Lee. Thanks for joining us. Chilly and sunny Hollitt Little Giant Stadium. And both coaches talk about you just can't give up big plays. You can't make big mistakes, and that's one that's going to cost the Tigers.
Yeah, 54 yards in the fumble recovery. I don't know if it's the cold a little bit, coldest game of the year for both of these teams. Tough to hang on to the football. Just a great defensive play, though, to poke it out and then to pick it up and return it all the way. So DePauw really backs against the wall here. They're going to have to do something offensively.
So Narig set to kick off. Hunt will take this from his 11, straight up the middle of the field. And Stroh was there to stop him. Back to the 22-yard line. So DePauw will get it back, trying to get something going. Now, before that fumble return, we were going back to one of the classic moments in the history, and we unfortunately, Steve, for you, only showed the end of the game, but you won this game the year before, and actually, I think we should have included the pass that got the Little Giants to the 1-yard line. That was a big game.
Yeah, it was an interesting end of the game with how it ended up, getting down to the 1-yard line and throwing that pass that got tipped away. But yeah, you know, like we said before, and Brad, you've been in it. It's just such a game to be part of. It just never gets out of your system after you're here once.
Fortunately, we all get to enjoy it here again today. Fake pass and a handoff and play action straight up the middle. 2 or 3 yards on the quick carry, and this is the freshman from Evansville Wright, Noah Jones, getting his first carry of the game. We also see DeMarco Henry, senior back from Indianapolis, Ben Davis in the game. His little brother is making an impact in Michigan State as a basketball player. He's one of the top young players in the Big Ten. That's Henry split off to the right, and Jones to the left. And Andrews back to pass, will run it himself, makes a man miss, and he's got big room, and he's going to take it past midfield inside Wabash territory. Chase Andrews getting it done with his legs, and DePauw for the third possession in a row is inside Wabash territory.
We did talk about his legs. Wabash that time bringing 6 to try to put pressure on him. Either somebody didn't fill the gap, but Chase found it, and what happens then, you're man-to-man behind it. You got guys on the defense with their backs turned to the quarterback, and there's this long lot of green in front of Chase Andrews.
27 yards on the game at the Wabash 44-yard line. DePauw with the ball down, 2 touchdowns in the Bell game. Hunt is the man in motion fake pass to him, and it's a handoff straight up the middle again. And 3 or 4 yards, and this is Henry on the carry.
And you try to move Andy Hunt around there, as you see, draw some of the eyes of the Wabash defense, see that creates some holes up the middle. So not more gain on first down, but DePauw with some momentum here offensively.
Second down, 8. Andrews quick throw. Hunt takes the high pass. To do some work, pushed out of bounds, gets close to the marker. Could be about 2-3 yards short. So 3rd and short coming up, and a flag comes down from midfield, looking over towards the sideline.
That's the type of play that DePauw is going to want to do to get the ball in Andy Hunt's hands. That time, unfortunately, he only had 1 blocker, and there were about 3 red shirts in front of him.
And it is a
For
personal
45.
foul.
15 yards, the end of the run, first down.
Sounded like they called it on Brandon Yagi.
Let's see what you guys see here. After the play, Hunt pushed out of bounds, a little shove at the end.
Well, it was thrown back in bounds a little bit. I'm guessing it's something that happened away from what we could see there.
Yeah.
Must have been, because Yagi was not in on that play. That was Pat Kelly that pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, he was pretty visibly upset, too. I don't know if because they called the wrong number or they did get him for something he did and just didn't think he did.
Mom, Dad, it wasn't me, really.
So DePauw now in business, first down. Back to pass, Andrews throws towards the 10, caught inside the 10, and it's going to be a touchdown. Blake Pichelny, no, they're going to mark him down just shy at the 1-yard line.
That's a big play, though.
I don't know about that, Brad. If I thought he just leaped into the end zone. Even if his knee was down where they said, I think the ball would have been across the line, but we're a long ways away from the play.
Pichelny only 5 catches on the season, catches this one inside the 10. Let's see if a knee touches the ground before he gets in. They'll take a quick play, and Andrews will keep it before we got a chance to see the completion of that replay. And Andrews is wrapped up at the 2-yard line. For the tail end of that, though, I think maybe his knee was in.
It looked like it might have been, yeah, Kevin. And this is where you get in some trouble sometimes. You try to run quick plays, hurry, and all of a sudden they're a loss of 1. And now, DePauw is facing 2nd and goal, and what looked like an easy touchdown. Now they've got some work to do.
Well, and there was really no business for him to be stumbling on that. He must have caught a toe or something, and he was sure open. And I tell you what, it's a nice play or nice throw by Chase Andrews. Throwing it across his body like that is a really tough throw.
Well, that'll end the first quarter, so we'll start the second quarter with DePauw right on the doorstep. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. The Monon Bell Classic has been all Wabash so far. 2 big plays for touchdowns, and the home team leads 14-0, but DePauw trying to cut that lead in half. Stay with us from Crawfordsville. Second quarter ready to go from Wabash. The Little Giants leading DePauw 14-0, but DePauw has its 2nd and goal from the Wabash 2-yard line. Noah Jones to the left, DeMarco Henry to the right. Henry's going to get it straight up the middle, barrels his way to the goal line, and he is close. Waiting for the signal. Did he get in? DePauw thinks he did. He is just inches short, according to the officials, setting up a 3rd and goal.
Doesn't get much close. Look at that ball. I mean, that's within an inch or two. Doesn't get much closer than that. The line judge on the far side, though, right on it.
And DePauw will go right back to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down. This time, Henry will try to jump over the top. Did the ball come out? The ball is loose, and Wabash does not have it, but Henry comes up short. 4th and goal.
They just can't get this thing in.
Yeah, and for officials, it's tough to see in that pile sometimes. This one a little easier because he tried to go over the top. And remember, all the ball has to do is cross that vertical plane of the front edge of the goal line, and apparently he didn't get there that time.
And I don't think he ever lost it. It was just a reaction from Wabash getting the stop. So 4th and goal, about a foot away. This time Andrews will try to throw it, a floater in the corner, and it is caught by Andy Hunt for a touchdown.
That is an incredible play call, but when you got an athlete like Andy Hunt, it's worth the risk. But within an inch of the goal line, you're throwing up a fade.
Yeah,
Gosh.
and you usually see that on first, second, or third down from there, knowing you can hopefully run it in later. But to get stuffed 3 times and then dial that up, Coach Lynch, he is going to one of the better football players in this game today.
It's simple,
though.
Steve. This is why I'm not a college football coach. Yeah, nothing, right. I would have done none of that.
This is why we have the headsets on.
Absolutely.
Not those headsets, these headsets.
Touchdown number 10 of the season for Andy Hunt, number 40 of his career, point after for Jake Tanner. He remains perfect on the season. 27 of 27 PATs. And a gutsy call on 4th and a foot. The fade to the corner, and DePauw is on the board. Two big plays got Wabash up by 2 touchdowns, but now we've got a ball game after DePauw punches it in. 14-7, the Little Giants, the home team today, leading. DePauw fans and cheerleaders enjoying recent moments after Andy Hunt catches the 1-yard touchdown pass from Chase Andrews. And Bill Lynch's team is on the board, getting set to kick it back to the Little Giants. And Isaac Avan is one of those, very dangerous, back to receive this kick along with Rashad Jones, the track star. And Avan is going to have this one skip by him, but he's going to have to pick it up inside his 5 from the 3, and he's in big trouble down at the 5-yard line. DePauw has seized some momentum now.
Yeah, you said it, Kevin. This game has changed in a heartbeat with that score by DePauw and then this kickoff when you're starting on your own 5.
Yeah, I think Avant here, he just thought the ball might roll out of bounds for a nice penalty, and instead got caught in that coffin corner where he had to pick it up. No choice there, and that's a tough break for the Little Giants.
So Jake Reed and the Little Giants going to work backed up at their 5-yard line now with a 7-point advantage. He's from the gun at his goal line with Avant behind him. He'll give it to Avant, who gets a quick 2 straight up the middle. Last week against Allegheny, Avant ran for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. He went for 215 3 weeks ago. Keep in mind, he was going to play this year, but Ike James and Austin Hoover were going to get a lot of the work.
Yeah, coming into the year, Wabash expecting to have really 3 guys in rotation with Ike James getting the bulk of the carries. Right now, it's Isaac Avant all alone back there. 2nd
down and about 8. Another handoff. Avant trying to be patient and find something. It's a yard or 2. And Mike James, we mentioned him. He went out early this season. Well, he was the star of this game last year. 3 touchdowns in the game. He led the conference in rushing last year.
He's a horse. I think the men in the black shirts there are pretty happy that he's not in the game this afternoon.
Yeah, Ike coming here, transferring from St. Joseph's College, and they shut down, and he's the real deal.
3rd down and about 6. Back to pass. Reed, quick out. Going up to make the play is the 6'5" Oliver Page. He lost it, got it right back. He's out of bounds anyway. Huge 1st down on 3rd and 6 for Wabash to get them out of the shadow of their goal line.
That looked like it had a chance to be picked off by the DePauw defender. We'll see here on the replay. And Page just comes back inside, cuts in front of him, and makes the play. That's a great job by the senior.
Yeah, and I would not recommend that to Jake Reed to throw that ball again, because when he threw it, there was definitely a defender between him and Oliver Page.
21 yards on the pickup, Brad. You called it. Page came back and took that one back. And Wabash is in business now. Avant off right tackle, gets a quick 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Well, it's interesting. Wabash, like I said earlier, was wanting to have some success on 1st down. We have not seen that. Where we've seen Wabash's success has been on the big play and some really key 3rd down conversions.
Don Morrell was pretty honest that we're going to have to throw the ball against this team that allows less than 50 yards per game rushing, even though we run at about 250 yards per game. Rolling out, Reed this time. That's a beautiful play in traffic. There is a flag down. Caught for a 1st down at the 41-yard line, and that's Ryan Thomas. But what is the penalty?
I think they get a little handsy on Ryan Thomas when he made the outcut.
You know, we'll see. I thought Seago held him a little bit as he was cutting. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's on DePauw, yeah.
That was a really nice throw on the run by Reed because there wasn't much of an opening there.
I think it was Hep that was on him, actually. That was
Holding. Defense. 10 yards. First down.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. It was because it was basically just an outcut by Ryan, and there was somebody over the top and a linebacker who could have come out from the inside, and really not a big window there for Jake Reed.
Yeah, you can't see it there, but before the outcut there, Hep had his hands all over the wide receiver. So good call by the officials.
Thomas makes that catch earlier. He had the 79-yard touchdown on the first drive of the game. First down for Wabash. Avant makes one man miss. Cannot make the second one. And that's Krupe with another tackle.
Just going nowhere on first down. Really trying to get some success running the ball, Wabash is. And really, DePauw's defense, other than the big play, Brad has really played pretty well.
Yeah, a couple of secondary breakdowns on third down on balls that we thought both could have maybe been intercepted have been the difference here.
Those numbers, 7 carries, 15 yards for Avant, who averages 115 yards per game and about 7 per carry. On second down and short, another quick out and a catch. He's pushed out of bounds. Ryan Thomas gets 4 or 5 yards, just shy of midfield.
And one thing you can see there, which I know DePauw does a lot, is they slant their front really hard. You can see the entire front, if you watch these plays coming up, really slanting hard to the right on that time.
Got about 3, so third down and 5 coming.
Hey, I'll take that if you're DePauw. Nice job by Hep, all over the receiver, pushing him out. Another third and long.
Heavy to the right side. 2 tights there, including Panola set up in the slot. They'll fake a reverse, and Avant will keep it, and DePauw is all over this one. Harry Bell, one of the backup outside linebackers, leading the way for the Tigers.
That's just a great job by Bell of not giving up on the play. I mean, this looked like he might pitch it back, and look at Bell sticking right with it in one arm and able to hold him.
Very, very good play, and Isaac wishing we could run that again and maybe pitch it the next time, so he didn't have to go through that. But very great job staying home.
That was a strong one-arm tackle. Hunter Seago was there also to provide some supports. Joey and Abe to punt back to Andy Huntz. Huntz steps up and fields it at the 26. Nowhere to go. Downed immediately. But DePauw, after trailing 14-0, now is stepping up defensively. They got a big play on offense. It's the defense, though, that has given them the ball back with a chance to tie the bell game.
In the Monon Bell game in 2016, a touchdown pass from Matt Hunt to the familiar Andy Hunt, who is now a senior on DePauw's offense. And then last year, he fumbled the ball late in the fourth quarter to let the door back open for Wabash, and they eventually would go on to win. And when I talked to him before today's game, he said he now realizes last year when he fumbled that ball late in the fourth quarter, he was just trying to do too much, trying to gain too many extra yards for the offense. And he said he knows his role is even more important this year as DePauw's main offensive weapon. Kevin?
He's still got a chance today with a big day to become the all-time leading touchdown receiver in DePauw history. 2 away from Alex Kors. What a remarkable career, leading the team in receptions all 4 years.
And how about that story from 2 years ago, catching the winning touchdown pass in the last minute from your brother?
Yep. To the right side on the end around, and that's Hunt again getting the ball. And this is going to be on 2nd and 5, enough for a first down. 2nd and 4, call it.
Yeah, keeping him active throughout the game. You see these numbers. I mean, just up there with some of the best in DePauw wide receiver history. Alex Kors, the leader in touchdown catches. Dan Ryan now just 1 ahead of Andy Hunt. So like you said, Kevin, with a big day, he has a chance to continue to climb these record books.
The numbers could have been even better this year. He's been banged up a little bit. He's missed a little bit of time, but he's healthy now. Scored the only touchdown of the game for DePauw. They have it from their own 40 now. Second quarter, handoff up the middle, and the DePauw big guys will make something out of this and help DeMarco Henry get an extra 2 or 3 yards after contact.
Great play on first down, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing Andy's done it with the rotating quarterbacks back there with some injuries and some other people playing. And it's hard to get any chemistry with you and the quarterback if they keep changing back there. So quite remarkable by that young man.
Great point, though, Steve, because it's easy when it's your brother. You got some chemistry there the first couple
Backyard,
of years.
baby.
Yeah, since then, absolutely. To continue to play the way he has the last 2 years, despite all the injuries at quarterback for the Tigers.
Hunt's caught over 60 passes this year from 3 different quarterbacks. Labus was the original starter. Andrews has played much of the season. He's missed some time, though, and Cam Haynes has played well when he's gotten a chance. And now to the right side, Andrews is going to keep it again. He's already had one big gainer on the day, and he is going to get close, and he does have enough to get to midfield and inside Wabash territory for the first down.
Yeah, it was so hard to see Matt Labus exit the game, re-injuring the knee, but you do see some of the diversity that Andrews brings to the offense here to kind of run some of the plays that I think Labus was trying earlier, and now with a fully healthy quarterback back there, be able to pick up some yards on the ground.
And Coach Lynch's teams have always been very good at that zone read, where they're reading the defensive end. If he crashes down on the running back, they're going to pull it just like they did there, and so his teams have always run that well, and you get legs like Andrews, it helps.
The Wabash 47, DePauw. Andrews throwing, deflected and knocked away. That's Bishop Rhodes who returned the fumble for a 54-yard touchdown, knocking that away from Evan Wiggum.
Yeah, it's a good pass. And we'll just see here if Rhodes got a hand on it, if Wiggum just didn't turn his head quick enough. Maybe a little of both there. I think that's one Wiggum may wish he had back. Yeah.
Rhodes was on the coverage. Second down and 10. From the gun, keeper again for Andrews. He'll make a little bit out of very little. Gets about 3 or 4 yards. They had a chance on him in the backfield.
Yeah, they did, just rushing 3 that time, Wabash was. So you wouldn't think a quarterback draw would work when you got a bunch of linebackers that are staring at you in the face.
So third down. Noah Jones comes back in as the back. 3rd and 7 from the Wabash 44. Andrews trying to make some changes. Play clock an issue now. Inside 5. Back to pass. Looking, throws over the middle, and it's behind his intended receiver. It's deflected. Was it picked off? No. Incomplete. Looking for Pichelny.
That's extremely close. Pichelny got a hand on it, almost stabbed it out of the air.
Jake Page then nearly picked it up off the turf, but it did hit. Well, Page had his arm under there, and then it rolled off his arm onto the turf.
Yeah, his arm was underneath it briefly, and then I think it went right on the turf. The umpire from the middle of the field had a good look at that.
So Ty Johnson to punt now. Standing at his 42, and it's a bad snap. It's down on the ground. He still can't get a hold of it. It's loose, and either way, it's going to be Wabash football with great field position. Johnson eventually did cover it, but all the way back at his 28-yard line.
It's another killer for DePauw. I mean, big plays, turnovers. We see it in Bell games every single year, and now this year no different. That's a huge break for Wabash.
Now look at the big plays we've already had, and we're halfway through the second quarter. Most of them gone Wabash's way so far, and then, look at the scoreboard, it's going to reflect that. And that's no fun for a punter to be chasing a bouncing ball back there, because even if you recover it, it's going to be Wabash's ball. The best you can do is fall on it and not allow them to advance.
And if anything, fortunate he did finally fall on that. That was rolling around. Wabash could have picked it up.
Right.
So now Wabash up 14-7, has great field position. Deep inside DePauw territory. Quick out and can't quite hang on to it. Is that Page done? No, that is Thomas, I'm sorry. Can't grab the pass. Incomplete. Would have been inside the 20-yard line.
Nice job by Hepp, beating really right as the ball came there, able to meet the receiver and knock it out.
Yeah, and doing what they're taught to do, get the hand in there and separate the arms or strip the ball out, and exactly what he did, just like the coaches work on with him probably every week.
So second down from the ball, 29-yard line. Reed from the gun, draw play, Avan straight up the middle. He's got daylight, trying to break free, and will get inside the 15-yard line. First big gainer of the running game for Wabash today, all the way down to the 12 after an 18-yard pickup.
Well, we talked about Isaac Avan earlier. He danced around early in the year, then he really started hitting the holes quickly, like you could see there.
Right back at it, he keeps it. Dances to the outside, inside the 10, and he might have had more room, but slips and falls down at the 8-yard line. Let's go back to the play before, the 18-yard pickup.
Shows you that burst there. There haven't been many holes that size so far this afternoon, and just a great job by the offensive line of creating a big seam there and hitting the hole for a big gain.
Yeah, and when you have a running back like Isaac, you don't need that big of a seam. But once you get it, like I said, he really started to run hard this year as the year progressed.
So second down now, and a whistle will stop this one, and Wabash will use their first timeout of the day. So Wabash up by a touchdown, trying to make it back to a 2-score game. The Monon Bell Classic continues from Crawfordsville. This classic football game has been played since there were only 44 states in the Union, starting in 1890. The 125th meeting today, not only in Division III, but in college football, really in sport. This is one of the items on a bucket list that should be witnessed by anyone that has any interest in competition. Wabash over the middle to the end zone, incomplete. Jake Reed on the slant, looking for the sliding Ryan Thomas, can't hang on, and now it's third down coming up.
He had him. I mean, he was open. It was a good route, ball just underthrown.
Yeah, and I think they knew exactly where they were going to go. Wabash did. There were 4 receivers out there after Isaac motioned out there, and there it is. I mean, it opened up just like the coaches would have thought, but just underthrew it.
So from the 8-yard line, the first down marker is at the 3. So it's 3rd and 6. Reed from the gun. Back to pass. Here comes some pressure towards the end zone. Overthrows Rashad Jones. 4th down. DePauw gets a stop. And Wabash is going to maybe settle for a field goal, but it's been a little bit iffy in that department. So let's see what they do on 4th down. It does look like the kicking game is going to come on, and Skylar Narig, who's 4 of 10 on field goals this season, is in to give a try.
So if you watch the game last year, you know nothing's a given when it comes to a field goal. And Don Morell, after faking 2 of them on the same drive last year, we'll see if DePauw's going to be ready for anything here.
Good point, yes.
And that's the same holder from last year, Austin Nightingale, a former quarterback playing defensive back now. Snap is down, kick is up. From 25 yards, Skylar Narig is good, and Wabash is up 10, 17-7, expanding their lead in the Monon Bell Classic. Let's go back to last year and take a look at a couple of big 4th down plays on a drive that helped get the Little Giants the win, one that was ultimately decided by a 2-point conversion.
I still go back to this, and you know, it's not that common you see 2 fake field goals in a game, but to see 2 on the same series is just incredible. And to convert both of them, drawn up very well, some great plays that led to a big touchdown for the Little Giants. Yeah,
I've never seen that. Same on the same drive, or 2 fake field goals on the same drive. Like you said, you can go a whole year without seeing one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
James had 3 touchdown runs in that game last year, and it was a 2-point conversion for the only lead of the game. 5:49 left for Wabash.
Yeah, I joked with Don Morell earlier this week. I asked him how many drinks has he had bought for him, how many babies has he kissed. I mean, those types of rolling the dice plays in a Monon Bell game, that'll have you remembered forever. I mean, you basically tie the game up, kick the extra point, you tie the game instead. Hey, what the heck, let's go for 2 and try to win the Monon Bell. And just an incredible game in Greencastle last year.
It was a really odd game. I know you covered it as a broadcaster. I was on the sideline roaming around watching it, and in a lot of ways, Wabash didn't have any business winning that because DePauw's going all up and down the field. 2 key turnovers, 2 key fumbles, 1 backed up that we talked about, Andy Hunt's, and then the other one from the quarterback going into the end zone. And, that's the way this game goes, the big plays.
Yeah, we're seeing it here again, right?
Yeah.
Turnovers and then the bad snap there on the punt leading to 3 points. So, DePauw's got to figure out a way to get out of their own way here this afternoon. It didn't help them last year, and now they're facing the same fate if they don't get things fixed pretty quick.
Eric set to kick off. We saw Michael Grace, one of those back deep, a senior from LaGrange, Illinois. Andy Hunt is the other. And Hunt is going to let this one sail well over his head. A little breeze behind his back, I think, right now, but Derek nailed that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, it hasn't been all that windy yet, and now we look up after that kick and getting a little breeze on the flags there on the goalpost, so a nice boot into the end zone. And, for the DePauw offense, I think if you're DePauw here after what could have been a disaster following that bad snap, I think you're okay to settle for the 3 points that Wabash got right there. Now your offense comes back out. You've been moving the ball a little bit with Andrews, and an opportunity here to probably get some momentum back.
You take away the big play that Wabash had, and I would guess DePauw has more offensive yards. I might be wrong on that one, but it'll be interesting to see at halftime.
Andrews going to work again, going deep down the middle of the field, looking for Andy Hunt, and he's got it with great coverage. Hunt inside Wabash territory, makes that play with Jose Franco draped all over him, and it's a huge play for the Tigers.
I was going to say, the phrase picked up a team and carried it on his back. Literally, Andy Hunt right there for a few extra yards after the big strike.
It's supposed to be your own team, though.
Yeah.
That is why that young man, though, is near the top of the charts in DePauw receiving. I've seen it for 4 years, and that guy making plays like that, and I would be throwing the ball to him as well.
48 yards. And DePauw inside Wabash territory. Fake handoff. Andrews in trouble, is going to have to get rid of it. All kinds of pressure coming on this play from Lucas Musina, the senior from North Central in Indianapolis.
And that was actually a play by a kid who's been in there a lot with Chase Andrews. You could see it. I mean, he knew what he had to do and just throw it away. You see a lot of quarterbacks try to force something that's not there.
Yeah, great pressure from Musina to kind of break up some momentum DePauw had after the big pass play to Hunt. And like you said, Steve, great job by Andrews just getting rid of it.
2nd and 10 from the Wabash 27. The Tigers with the ball, trailing in the bell game by 10. Up the middle, about 4 or 5 yards on the carry. That's Tanner Cleveland. Listener's the starting running back, but I think that's the first time we've seen him, the junior from Napanee at Northwood High School.
And he's actually the team's leading rusher coming into the game, so get him involved for the first time here. Now a big 3rd down for DePauw. This you would think is likely 4-down territory.
3rd down and 5 from the Wabash 22. Andrews back to pass, floating, looking, rolling, throwing on the run towards the end zone, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown! Michael Grace is in there in the middle of the crowd and comes out with it, and the Tigers with a huge play and a touchdown to potentially pull within 3.
What a job by Andrews, evading another good rush from Wabash, just keeping the play alive. You're almost saying throw it away, don't do anything stupid right here. And what's he do? He throws it for a touchdown.
When he peeled back this way, I didn't think he was going to be able to get outside, but the Wabash defender kind of went inside. I think the Wabash coaches thought it was blocking the back. I didn't think it was, but found a wide open receiver. Michael
Grace had only 4 catches all season, did have a touchdown. Now he's got number 2 in the Monon Bell Classic, and it is a 3-point game after Jake Tanner's 28th point after on 28 tries. Watch this one again. Great throw across his body, back the other way.
And I'm not sure the Wabash defense knew that ball was in the air at that point. At least the defender here on the near side. You see, just trying to get there and make a play, and it's almost like a punt hanging up there.
And yeah, it hung up there a long time, and he took a pop when he caught it and coming down with it. And again, that's twice we've seen Chase Andrews making nice passes across his body, running to his left with the right-handed quarterback, and he put something on that one to throw it across his body.
That's just a big momentum swing there for DePauw to come off of the defense, only allowing a field goal after the bad snap on the punt, and quickly move down the field with some big plays. Great response by the DePauw offense.
Hasn't been a half without action. We'll say that. I mean, this is a typical Monon Bell game. Just a lot of things happening, a lot of things packed together down in one half, and we still have over a half to play.
10 touchdown passes on the season now for Chase Andrews. That one was one of the more impressive ones. And it's a 3-point game still in the first half here at Wabash. As the Little Giants get set to take it back, and this kickoff is going to go out of bounds. Takes a left-hand turn at the 15-yard line. So Wabash will start with pretty good field position.
You hate to see that if you're a coach. I mean, it does look like DePauw trying to do some directional kicking here on the kickoff, but you got to be careful, and that's the risk that you run. And I'm sure Bill Lynch, after the touchdown, not pleased to see the field position here that Wabash will get after the penalty.
That football field is 53 1/3 yards wide, and you're kicking it from the middle. Don't kick it out of bounds. Yeah, 53 1/3 yards to play with. Doesn't help me hitting fairways, though, I guess.
Yeah, well, it worked well the last time for DePauw when the ball, it's an oblong shape, so you never know how it's going to bounce. Last time it worked out. This time clearly didn't for the Tigers.
Well, for Don Morell's team, it looked like they had some control early on with a 14-0 lead. Now they're clinging to a 17-14 advantage in the first half. Here at home, the 125th Monon Bell Classic. From their 35, draw play, Avan up the middle, who did finally find some daylight on the last drive of the first time ball game. Scampers forward for about 4 on this one. Second down and 6. Reed has one back. He's got split wideouts. Page to the left, Thomas to the right. Reed back to pass, good protection, out pass. It is Page making the catch for a first down inside DePauw territory, down at the 46-yard line.
It's a great job by Page that time, just running the corner off and then cutting that route short. Great timing on the pass, too, so good play all around, and a big chunk play for the Little Giants.
Yeah, in case you heard the Page name on defense, Oliver is the cousin of Jake Page, the safety for Wabash. Oliver is also past student body president at Wabash, so he's quite a leader on campus.
From South Bend St. Joseph's, this 13-yard catch gets Wabash in DePauw territory. First down, it's a quick pass. Avant, screen set up, and DePauw covers that one very nicely. Hyatt and Perkins over there to make the play.
You get a player like that in space, it's dangerous, so that's a big-time tackle there for DePauw to make sure Avant was held to just 3 yards.
Yeah, it looked like he had seam, just caught a shoelace and kind of tripped him up on that one.
2nd and 7 coming from the DePauw 44. Watch the clock, still 3:05 to play in the first half. Timeouts are available for both teams should they need it, 2 of them each way, and a flag will stop the clock now at 2:59.
And everyone points across the line.
Everybody's right.
Got to sell it.
Let's just redo it.
So now it's 2nd down and about 2. Longer 2 at the 39-yard line. So this opens up some options from a play calling perspective. Reed will stay in the gun and he'll go right at it. He'll look to the left, roll to the right, throw on the run over near the sideline, incomplete. And Rashad Jones couldn't hang on to it.
A little bit of tough play anyway. Even if Jones would have caught the ball, he was tight roping the sideline there, not a lot of room.
Yeah, Wabash is showing a run hard to DePauw's right with the lineman blocking that way and Isaac running that way and just booting out. We know we're going to throw to Rashawn on that one. That's where Wabash is wanting to throw the ball.
So 3rd down and 2 now. Reed will just go to Avant straight up the middle, and he'll have the first down through the 36-yard line. So the clock will stop for the moment while the chains move.
That's just Avant putting his hand on the shoulder of his offensive lineman and getting the yards that he needs. Done that a few times on this drive. And yeah, a little momentum here for Wabash starting to pick up on the ground game.
Avant deep behind. Reed from the gun on first down, fakes the handoff, looking over the middle. He's got a man, it's caught by Rashad Jones. Now he goes to work inside the 10, spinning down to the 7-yard line. First down, Wabash, 1st and goal for the Little Giants.
We mentioned Rashad Jones earlier as a track star. That young man was an All-American hurdler last spring. Really came out of his own on that one. You can see some good moves there. Wasn't quite able to kick into speed, but nice throw by Jake Reed after the run fake and hitting the seam.
I was going to say, we talked about them starting to have success running the ball, Wabash, and that time the play action fake just dropped into the seam that opened up with the linebackers being drawn up a few yards.
Exactly why you need to have success running the ball, because then you can run plays like that. That's right, Brad.
29 yards, first and goal from the 7, and more pointing and another flag flying. This may be procedure on Wabash. So now first and goal back at the 12.
Neither of these teams that heavily penalized, a bit uncharacteristic in the first half, what we've seen from both of them here.
Yeah, there's a Monon Bell game, and
you expect an unsportsmanlike or two, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a little different nerves, usually a little false starts early in the game, those types of things.
From the gun, first and goal from the 12. It's Avant, and he gets tripped up. Back at the 10-yard line, gets a couple back. And one of those was Nicholson and Nate Orison also in on the play.
You know, now with goal to go, Wabash is in no hurry because now the clock becomes a factor. 1:15 left in the half. Really just like to see it. I mean, in control of not giving DePauw the ball back.
Yep. Brad Thomas back in the game. Ivan Martinez, one of the tight ends, mostly for blocking, comes out. So there are 3 wide receivers available. Avant is the back from the gun. Draw play. Avant cuts to the outside, tripped up down to the 5-yard line. And another play by Nicholson.
I might have saved a touchdown. Chandler Nicholson right there. A lot of room to run for Avant. He would have gotten, if not in the end zone, at least extremely close.
Yeah, Nicholson's a player, and you can see it here on you know, he's one-on-one against a running back like Avant.
Nicholson, just a great play. Returned an interception for a touchdown in this game last year, so he knows what it means to make big plays in this ball game.
Third and goal, under a half a minute to play in the first half at the 10-yard line. From the gun, Jake Reed with Avant now in motion. Reed rolling to his right, all the way back to his 23-yard line, finds a man wide open in the end zone, and it's the tight end, Ivan Martinez. Only 2 catches all season, wide open for the Wabash touchdown.
That's just a play call. That's just a great play call, well designed and well executed. You just have to let it develop, and great job by coach and by players there all around. What a play call. What a way to draw
Yeah,
that.
typically the tight end is just blocking down, patient. They want to release, but they want to let the play develop and then release. And it always amazes me how defensive players, though, can run with the flow even though they know there's a man there that they're responsible for. But it happens.
First touchdown of the season, only his 3rd catch for Ivan Martinez. Skylar Narig puts the point after through the uprights. And Wabash with a big finish to the first half with 12 seconds. Let's watch this one again. Jake Reed had retreated all the way back to about his 25-yard line.
And Martinez just kind of, went in like he was going to block, delayed, waited. Great job by him to wait to the last second before floating out in the flat.
I think that was a formation. I don't know if they had anybody who was responsible for Martinez, because Oliver Hayes was to that side, was actually off the ball. He's typically on the ball. He was in a tackle position, I believe. I'd have to see it again. But he was eligible because Oliver Page was off the ball. So I'm not sure they had anybody even thinking about him being a receiver. So again, good play call.
Might be the first time he actually went out for a pass all game. He is in there mostly to block.
Well, so then to have that patience too, knowing, hey, I'm going for a route. I don't do it very often. Just a great job by Martinez to really sell that and then score.
So Skylar Narig to kick off here. Goal number 1, make sure they don't get any kind of return out of this. Andy Hunt is one of those back. He's dangerous. He averages 25 yards per kick return. And this one is returnable from his 1, straight up the middle, 5, 10, 15, trying to cut outside to the 20. Now working towards the left sideline, and will get to the sideline, out of bounds at the 38-yard line with 3 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, it's good return by Hunt. We'll see what Bill Lynch decides to do here, depending on kind of the arm strength of Chase Andrews. Still pretty good ways to heave one up to the end zone, but within reason.
Yeah, Probably maybe a good chance to get the ball in 17's hands, that little bubble screen or something, see if he can do something with it. And you definitely don't want the ball up in the air very long because you never know what's going to happen with any kind of an interception return. But or maybe they might just kneel on it and go into the locker room.
Well, and with 3.2, I mean, in theory, could you get a real quick strike, maybe 8 to 10 yards, get you close to midfield? If you get someone right on, right near the sideline there, it's possible.
So DePauw is going to use a timeout here.
DePauw does get the football to start the second half too, so don't have to take a big risk here, but I feel like Bill Lynch would have called a timeout if he's not at least thinking about doing something.
I like the mid-range. Just try to make a play. Throw it 15, 20 yards down the play and see if you can make
safe
somebody
pass.
miss. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have a playmaker in Hunt if you want to try to get him in space, maybe with some blockers ahead of him. Try to see what he can do, almost turn it into a bit of a mini punt return or kick return, if you will, and see what he can do in some space.
And what Kevin was saying too, you get the safeties are going to be 30 yards deep.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're already lining up now. Wabash is, and so it kind of creates a vacuum in there in a hole where you could actually hit somebody and miss tackle or two. Never know.
Jake Page and Artie Akiwa are standing 30 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's the problem from this distance. By the time the receivers get near the end zone, Andrew's going to really kill some time if he's going to try to heave this all the way.
And now Wabash will use a timeout once they get a look at what DePauw is thinking about with 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 back.
And the fans are going, come on, it's cold out here. Quit calling timeouts.
Well, a lot of these Wabash fans in the shade too, so it's probably even cooler here. They want to get up and get something hot here at halftime.
Well, the feeling is you can't take them with you, so go ahead and use them now.
Right.
Each team still has 1 timeout left available. Well, more Monon memories and flashbacks to 1969. Chilly, but you think it's difficult today. Look at the snow in this one. DePauw won 17-7 at Blackstock Stadium. You got the field turf now at both schools. Take away the elements. I like the conditions. Playing in the mud, the turf.
Okay, I was just whining because my hot hands aren't warm enough in my hands, and so I'm not going to do that anymore after seeing that clip.
I'm colder for having watched that, yeah.
Well, here we go with 3 seconds to play in the first half. DePauw and Andrews back to pass, on the run, rolling to the right. This is the final play of the first half, barring penalty, and he'll just walk out of bounds. So, 2 timeouts each way to set that up. Safe play, though. They took a look at it, and the first half comes to a close with a lot of moments. Wabash jumped out to a 14-0 lead, including big plays. Wabash is back in it now, down to the sidelines of Katie Hargitt.
Yeah, and Coach DePauw was able to get some other offensive players involved there, but their main weapon, Andy Hunt. How do you stop him in the second half?
I think you got to cover him with probably 2 guys or 3 guys, and typical Bell game. It's crazy, insane. I think you just get used to it. But we made some critical mistakes, had some bad penalties. Got to get that fixed and come out strong in the second half.
DePauw's defense is presenting some interesting challenges for your offense. Any adjustments for the second half?
DePauw's good up front. We're going to have to throw the ball more.
Thanks, Coach.
He's been very honest. This is a running team, 250 yards or so per game. We're going to have to throw it. They've been doing it, and expect more of that from Wabash in the second half. So after a 14-0 jump, DePauw gets back in it. They got as close to within 3. It's a 10-point difference right now. Wabash 24, DePauw 14. For the 125th time, these Division III Titans are going at it for the Monon Bell. First half highlights of the 125th Monon Bell Classic presented by the Cancer Treatment Centers. Thanks for joining us today From Wabash College and Holland Little Giant Stadium, I'm Kevin Lee, along with Brad Wochomurka. From DePauw, Steve Hoffman. From Wabash, Katie Hargitt as well. Wabash set to kick it off. DePauw gets it back to start the second half. A lot of twists and turns in this one. Looked like early on it was going to be controlled by Wabash, but boys, I think we're in for a good one here in the second half.
Yeah, no question about it, Kevin. I mean, this was good back and forth. You take away a couple of DePauw mistakes and, you know, some big plays all around. This game's probably even closer, but good chance for the DePauw offense here to get back into this one.
Andy Hunt wanting to get this one at the 10, maybe the 12-yard line, and it's not going to be Hunt this time. It's Michael Grace who gets lassoed over near the sideline. DePauw will start it for the first time here in the second half, trailing by 10. Some of their numbers in the first half. Chase Andrews came in relief of Matt Labus, who started the game but re-aggravated his knee injury, and Andrews came in and has played well. 8 of 12 passing, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the leading rusher for DePauw as well, with 34 net yards gained. Andy Hunt has 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. And it's a draw play from the gun. Andrews will keep it himself and pick up a good 5, 6, maybe even 7 on first down.
Something interesting to watch, you know, we look at the statistics from the first half, just 58 yards on the ground for Wabash, and you heard Don Morrell say, we're probably going to need to throw the ball even more. So not necessarily the game script we thought coming in, so it'll be real interesting to see what the Little Giants do offensively when they get the ball back.
Well, yeah, supposedly saying, you know, well, we can't run the ball. I guess we got to throw it more, maybe throw the ball to open up the run, if you will.
Lopez is the back, offset to the left. Hunt comes in motion on second down. It is a draw play. Lopez up the middle, has a little bit of daylight, a first down, and out to the 41-yard line. Some more of the first half numbers. I mentioned rushing numbers were even for both teams, 58 yards apiece. Wabash has the advantage in total yards. DePauw, you could argue over that. 2 turnovers, 1 turnover. The second turnover was on a 4th down change of possession, but it was a botched snap and effectively became a turnover. So Wabash has the advantage there. The quick out here to Hunt on first down. Picks up 2 or 3 to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, the first DePauw turnover didn't just lead to points, it was points on the fumble recovery too. So those turnovers both are really killing the DePauw Tigers.
Scores for Wabash. Ryan Thomas, a 79-yarder on the first possession of the game from Jake Reed. And Bishop Rhodes returned a fumble, 54 yards for a touchdown. Hunt had a 1-yard score from Andrews to get DePauw on the board. On the second down play, it's straight up the middle. And it's Lopez getting 2 or 3 yards. DePauw also has scored on a Michael Grace 22-yard pass from Andrews on a beautiful play. And then Ivan Martinez, 10 yards from Jake Reed for the touchdown to end the first half. 24-14 for the Tigers. For the Little Giants, I should say. The Tigers have the football now. 3rd down and about 4, just shy of midfield. Andrews had enough for the first down, but threw it a little bit behind his intended receiver, Will Harris. So that brings a 4th down, and DePauw will have to punt.
And Andy Hunt wasn't too happy. Sorry, Steve, at the top of the formation, he had an easy route to a first down, just on an in route, and Andrews just didn't see him.
Yeah, and I wonder if down here is if Andrews was expecting like a hitch instead of turning out because it was thrown right where he would have done it, but he did have it open.
Stroh is back, standing in his 15 to receive the Ty Johnson punts. Actually, I think that's Harris punting. Johnson was shaken up earlier on. It is Harris punting. Remember, Johnson on that botched snap came off gimping a little bit. So a change of punter, and Wabash has the football for their first chance here in the second half of the bell game. Back in Crawfordsville, campus of Wabash College, the Little Giants have the football with a 10-point lead for the first time in the second half. Starting from their 23-yard line after the Hunter Seago punt, one of the dual number 4s on the team. Seago, defensive back, actually was a punter earlier on in his DePauw career. Avant gets the handoff on first down. Tries to find a little bit, cutting to the outside. First half stats for Wabash. Jake Reed, 10 of 18. 2 touchdowns, a pick, 182 yards passing, and very early in the game, 79 of them right here to Ryan Thomas. The other came at the end of the first half. So that was the 3rd play of the game, and this was their last offensive play of the first half. And that was to the tight end who virtually never catches the ball, Martinez. And here's a quick out to Oliver Page. He is their leading receiver, and he gets big yardage out near midfield.
Well, DePauw bringing 6 that time, and if you do that, you better get pressure because you got a lot of land out here to cover. And that ball was in the air a long ways from the opposite hash over here to Page.
Yeah, Page just camping out under that. Just a miscommunication by the secondary for DePauw. They've had a few of those this afternoon, and a big play there to start the second half of the Little Giants.
So from the 46, after the 17-yard gain, Reed from the gun gives it to Avant, trying to cut it outside, spins around, makes a man miss, and pushes his way forward close to first down yardage inside DePauw territory. He'll be about a yard short out to the 45-yard line, 2nd and shorts.
It's like we're just waiting for that Wabash ground game to get going, and you started to see a little bit of it during the end of the first half that opened up some of those play action passes, Steve, and there's another nice play, and the playbook now seems to be open for Don Morrell.
Well, and if you start being successful with the passing, as he said going into the locker room at halftime that he would like to pass more, I think that is to open up the run a little bit.
2nd and 1 from the 45. It's Avant again. He's hit in the backfield, but he'll push his way forward for the needed yardage for the first down. Paul had him.
Yeah, and the offensive line for Wabash last week was actually on the D3Football.com region team of the week as an offensive line because Wabash rushed for over 400 yards just rushing against Allegheny last week.
Paul did a nice job on Avant in the first half, 2.8 yards per carry, 14 for 39. He did break free for a 17-yarder late in the first half. Here he gets the needed 2 for the
they're calling it third down.
They're saying he's just short, so he only gets officially a yard. And here on 3rd and short, he'll get the first down, picking up 2, out to the 42-yard line.
Big challenge here for these DePauw run stuffers. They've been so good throughout the course of the season, and great start to this game here, but with Wabash starting to move the football a little bit, guys getting tired, opportunity here for DePauw's defensive line to really step up and try to shut down this run.
Tight formation. Avant again, this time working to the right side. Only 3 or so. Zonka was one of those there. And also Zach Williams.
Hey, didn't Coach Morrell going into the locker room say he wanted to throw the ball more?
You get the sense there might be a big one coming or something, the way they're setting this up, yeah.
Or he may be hoping that Bill Lynch has someone monitoring the broadcast.
Yeah, right.
2nd down, 8 from the DePauw 40. Reed back to pass, over towards the sideline. Panola has it for a first down. Hurdles another man to get a couple of extra yards before he steps out of bounds. Another Wabash first down. Panola, the versatile fullback, is actually their 2nd leading receiver.
Yeah, that's an interesting play to sneak out Panola. I tell you what, he's done it all this year and several of his years. You see the big stiff arm there. Just stepped out of bounds.
We talk about the run, kind of setting up the pass again. That looked like a run, had a run formation, and Panola just patiently waited, then snuck out there. They've really done a nice job, Wabash has, of designing these play-action plays, these delays. That's another great one right there.
17 yards, down to the DePauw 23-yard line. Wabash with the ball, leading by 10. Reed back to pass, good protection, throws towards the left sideline, and it's picked off. 2nd interception of the game for Dylan Hyatt, his first 2 of the season.
Yeah, you see Hyatt holding up the 2 there for his second pick of the game. And that was, we've seen a few balls in this game from both quarterbacks that just seem to hang in the air too long, and none of them have really fallen into the wrong hands. But that time, Hyatt able to step in and get a huge pick and stop the momentum for Wabash.
It was a 2-man route. There were only 2 people out in formation. Everybody else was protecting, and you just got to make that throw. You don't want to throw it from the opposite hash all the way over to this sideline. And I tell you what, even though it was a pick, Wabash is very lucky, as you alluded to, Brad, because if he could have stayed in bounds, if he had another yard of inbounds real estate, he would have gone to show.
Yeah, that's just a fluttering duck there. You saw not a great throw, and that's a big play for the DePauw defense.
So the second Wabash turnover, both of them Dylan Hyatt interceptions, and DePauw now takes over, and Andrews will fake the handoff, keep it himself straight up the middle. And he'll get a quick 8 or so out to the 25-yard line.
Well, the other thing, if you're a Wabash fan, you don't want to see, move the ball, move the chains, first down, and then you throw that when you're looking like you're sitting good to at least get some points on the board.
DePauw comes in at 4-5. Wabash 8-1. Still have a chance to get to the Division III playoffs. Cutting to the outside, looking for a little bit of room. And Ramon Lopez won't find much there.
Jackson Garrett probably saved the first down just by hanging on to Lopez there. It looked like he was going to turn the corner and get at least a couple of yards for the first. So now a 3rd down after a great play there by Garrett.
And Jackson is really coming to his own this year, replacing Evan Hansen, who we mentioned earlier, and it's really started to come on strong. He was Conference Player of the Week a couple weeks ago.
3rd and 1 now for DePauw. The give is up the middle, and that is going to be a first down for Lopez. He stepped his way for the needed yardage up to the 31-yard line. Well, I mentioned the scenario for Wabash. They are 7-1 in the NCAC 3-way tie. They're going to need some help to win the automatic bid. Tied with Denison and Wittenberg. Denison is at Kenyon, winless today. And Wittenberg is at Worcester, 4-4 on the season. So it's probably going to take one of the 5 at-large bids for Wabash if they win today to be able to get into the Division III playoffs. Out for Andrews, caught at the 35-yard line, and immediately Will Harris is knocked out of bounds.
It's a nice job by Harris to go up and get that one. Ball thrown probably a little higher than Andrews would have liked, but a good pickup on first down for DePauw.
Yeah, Andrews has been throwing pretty well. I mean, 8 for 12 in the first half, we said, and started off this half, other than throwing behind the out route last possession, has really thrown the ball better than I was expecting.
2nd down and 6. And up the middle, and I think it's Noah Jones in the game now. No, it's still Lopez. Not going anywhere this time. 3rd down. I mentioned Wabash's scenario for DePauw. They're trying to avoid their first losing season since 2013, which is Bill Lynch's first in his return. That was a bit of a rebuilding scenario. They won 4 that season, then they've gone 7-3, then 8-2 the last 3 years. But lose your quarterback, start the season, some other injuries, it's made a difficult year. And by the way, in 4 of the 5 losses for DePauw, they've been within a tying score in the final possession. Andrews in trouble, tries to break free, and he cannot elude the rusher, and he's going to go down.
What a play there by Jake Helmer. I mean, gets in on an elusive quarterback in Chase Andrews, who almost spun out of it, but a huge play there by Helmer to get the first sack of the game for Wabash.
Well, gets a little twist up front on the inside of Helmer, as you can see there, and Helmer just coming free, and Chase almost spun around it, but Helmer hanging on.
A backup safety makes a big play and forces a DePauw punt. And it's Hunter Seago standing back at his 9, takes a low snap, line drives this one out of there, and it will take a very nice DePauw bounce all the way back to the Wabash 27, maybe 28-yard line. Wabash coming up with a big defensive play here. Andrews trying to make something happen on 3rd down. Jake Helmer is there to get him. Wabash has the football back next.
Welcome back to the 125th Monon Bell Classic, where the Wabash Little Giants lead the DePauw Tigers 24-14 after a big defensive play from the Wabash Giants. They've got Jake Reed and his offense back on the field. Jake has lots of options to go through today. He's got Oliver Page, Rashad Jones, Matt Pinola. But when you think about it, Jake is a junior, but this is the first time he is ever playing in the Monon Bell Classic. And Steve, you can talk about this. This is quite the atmosphere to make your first start in.
Yeah, and it does make a difference when you're coming out the first time. And usually, though, you get the first two snaps in, you settle down a little bit. Where I typically have seen quarterbacks falter, and coming into the first start in this game is the first snap or two.
So this is his first Monon Bell on campus. He transferred from Mount Union last spring. Does it help him at all that he's not watched this one before? Maybe he doesn't. He's probably going to understand the significance a little more as he moves forward. Avon takes this handoff and gets a little bit, about 6 yards out to the 35-yard line. Sometimes they talk about young players don't really know what they're getting into. Right. I'm sure he's been...
Don't know enough to be nervous.
He's heard about it, but he's never been here to experience it. So he's trying to approach this like another game.
And this game goes from your typical 3,000 to a home game to, triple that, which you don't see that happen in other programs in one game. And where I see it happening when they start setting up the bleachers and they come out and practice in this facility and they look around, there's all these different extra bleachers set up, and the freshmen are like, wow, what's this? This is different.
Little Giant Stadium normally seats about 45, about 9,500 here today on 3rd and a long 2, and that's going to be close. It might be a little bit short on the give right up the middle. And we'll see if Pinola got enough for the first down. There's the marker. He might be a foot or so short.
Yeah, it looks just a little short, but that's the guy you got to give it to. Pinola has bowled people over left and right for extra yards all afternoon, so good play call, but the DePauw defense holding tight, and we're going to see what Don Morrell will do here on 4th and very short.
Ooh. 4th down in his own territory. The offense is still on the field. There's a great look ahead, and temporary bleachers here. End zone, corners, doubling the capacity. Wabash will take one of their timeouts now to think about this. And we'll find out if they go for it from their own 36 or kick it away. Up by 10 in the 3rd quarter in the Monon Bell Classic from Wabash. Two Division III schools separated by less than 30 miles in one of the great rivalries in the country, the 125th Monon Bell Classic. Wabash faced with a big decision right here. 4th and less than a yard. They're up by 10, but they're at their own 36-yard line, and they are going for it. On 4th down, the give is up the middle to Manola, and I don't think he got it. Second effort, though, might have been enough. There is a flag on the play. He looked stop, he spun out of it, and if they allow the second effort, it would be enough. But what is the penalty?
Defense in the new.
So we wondered, might they just try to draw them offside? They still snapped the ball,
didn't.
But they got it done.
But then they lined up both sides anyway. But
yeah.
How about that effort by Pinola? I don't know if he had it on the first time into the line, but he kept driving and spinning out.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be very close to where they marked it, but again, won't matter after the penalty.
So, Brad, don't sell yourself short on your coaching abilities. We were talking at the break about what we would do. To a person that was, I would punt, except Brad says, oh, I would go for it. So there you go, Brad.
There we go. Yeah.
Steve and I both thought up 10 from your own 36, you go ahead and kick it. But that's why we're not coaching, although Steve has before. And now over the middle, Reed throws one that's deflected and dangerous for a moment, incomplete. Looking for Oliver Page, and there were a couple of old gold and black shirts in the neighborhood for DePauw. 2nd down.
Yeah, the 3rd quarter, just 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, has been quite uneventful with turnovers and big plays compared to the first half. So it feels like DePauw needs to get a shot in the arm with something. They need to make something happen to really get going here.
They forced a couple of turnovers. Reed, fake handoff, rolling to his right, being chased, and just going to throw this one away. setting up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, this is right what you want if you're DePauw now. 3rd and long. You've got Wabash on their own side of the field, so Steve, you talk about needing to do something here, get a little momentum. It's a big chance for the DePauw defense to get the ball back in potentially decent field position. Yeah,
and you throw punters out there and snappers, and like we saw in DePauw in the first half, you never know what's going to happen to the punt snap.
Though, to give Wabash credit, their offense has been pretty good on 3rd and long. That's some pretty big plays, so this is where that DePauw secondary needs to really make sure they've got things clamped down. Big play here.
First touchdown of the game was on 3rd and long. It was 79 yards to Ryan Thomas. 3rd down here. Reed back to pass. Throws over the middle, and this is deflected, and it's picked off. Off the hands of Rashad Jones, and it is picked off by Brody Good, the junior from Avon High School outside of Indianapolis.
That's a great job by Good just to stay with the deflection and make the interception. Now DePauw with great field position. That's 3 interceptions. You don't see that very often in the Monon Bell game. A team is down 10. DePauw has to do something with this one.
Yeah, right, and great timing. See him sitting back there, and he saw the corner come from the outside. I think Jake Reed did and tried to throw it to the inside, but a little too far to the inside. Basically, he shouldn't have gone there. And you can see all the white jerseys around number 4, Rashad Jones.
And Jones was sitting and actually moved a little bit to his right, and Reed threw it where Jones had been. So Good is there for the deflection. 3rd interception by DePauw of the game, and they're in business from their own 45, down 10. Lots of time. Now Andrees is forced out and has to throw it over the head of Jones, his intended receiver out of the backfield. So DePauw down by 10, and they've been able to get it done from the air. Both of their scores, the first one on 4th and about a foot, and they go to the fade to Andy Hunt out of the corner. And then this second one was to Michael Brace, just his 5th catch of the season for a touchdown, and that's been the offense today for the Tigers. Andrees here being chased, and he will get this one away. For the moment, it's being ruled. Now they'll say incomplete. No signal immediately, but it did look like he was throwing it. So under duress, an incomplete pass for Andrees.
We'll see the replay. The fans seem upset, but the reason the play was allowed to go on because it could have been an interception. So it wasn't I think the fans wanted a fumble.
That's why he waited, right?
That's why he waited,
to make sure it hits the ground. It was good officiating there.
Yeah, that could have been picked off.
But Luke Messina coming on a missed assignment by somebody, and there was a linebacker coming from the outside who they picked up, but Luke Messina coming free, and that's what you live for as a defensive end.
So now 3rd and 10. DePauw trying to take advantage of the decent field position. Andrees chased out again. Will lob it over the middle, and it's caught by Wiggum over near the sideline, and that's enough for a first down. There is a flag down back in the backfield, and it might be a hold on DePauw.
Yeah, it is a hold on DePauw, and DePauw not happy at all about that. Nick LaChapelle, the right tackle, was steamed when the flag came down, but I think that look says it all from Bill Lynch.
Yeah, the
right there.
Shaking.
That was a great little play by Andrees to keep it alive and get a first down.
We watched for the hold, and we also watched the little shovel pass. Well, that was a little takedown.
Yeah, the arm around him. And usually when the lineman looks for the flag and sees it, they were looking for the flag for a reason, hoping something is not called.
So now it's 3rd and 20, back from their 35. Gun for Andrees. Quick out to the left side, trying to see if Hunt can make something happen, and he won't get anywhere.
You know, and the thing on that hold is, I don't think it would have made a difference if he wouldn't have pulled, because I think Andrews was getting outside pretty quickly, so it's just a big play that they had to come back. Yeah,
and how about 3 interceptions for DePauw, and now still trailing by 10. That's just, I mean, you can't do that. You've got to get some points off of these turnovers in a game like this. A huge stop by the Wabash defense.
They have picked up the Wabash offense after the 3 mistakes, and DePauw has had some opportunities that they could not convert on. So now, after Ty Johnson injured, Hunter Seago, starting defensive back, is in the punt, snares that snap. This is a nice spiral punt that's going to send Stroh back, retreating at the 27. He's back at his 22 now, and we'll get back out to about the 26-yard line, so just about where he originally fielded the punt. So good coverage by DePauw. And Wabash will start from their 26.
We're at that point in the game, Steve, where you're kind of waiting for that next big play, and you think next score maybe is who wins this football game, either way. But this is a huge series for the DePauw defense to try to clamp down because they lost some momentum there after the turnover. And the Wabash offense has been pretty methodical so far this half, but they've got those weapons ready to break out.
And you said there had the potential to be a couple big plays. There are 2 interceptions by DePauw just this quarter, but haven't been able to do anything with it, so you kind of just forget about them.
Bigger package in. Shea Goss, backup fullback, is in the game as a blocker for Avant off the right side, spins. And DePauw does a nice job of keeping him in check.
Well, DePauw, again, stopping for a loss there. Krupe on the tackle. And, if you're Don Morrell, you'd really just love to maybe 3 yards here, 4 yards here. Start pounding the ball on the ground a little bit, start making the clock a factor in this game as we get close to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, a minute to go in the third. It seems surprising to me. It just feels like this quarter has zipped by, and you do start looking at the quarter and the time a little bit.
Up 2 scores. Wabash is okay to see that clock run right now. Avant nowhere to the left. Straight up the middle, finds something, and it's a first down and more. Pep will eventually stand him up, but Avant made something happen that time. For really only his second big gainer of this day. DePauw has done a fantastic job on Avant throughout, but that time he breaks free for a first down and a pickup of 14.
And he shows the potential to run like a bigger guy than 184 pounds, which he is. But you can see his confidence as this year has gone on in being able to make those runs.
That was great patience. He just waited for the whole play to kind of wash to his left, and then was able to cut back and then showed the strength at the end of the run to pick up a few more yards and a first down.
Over 1,000 yards on the season for Isaac Avant. And he'll get it again here, trying to cut to the outside, makes a man miss down the left sideline, cuts it back in. Another first down for Avant, who is starting to gather some momentum inside DePauw territory to the 40, and another Little Giant first down after a 20-yard pickup.
And Wabash would like nothing than to stay successful at doing this. But you just wonder at some point, are they going to pull that and then boot or do some kind of play action pass like we talked about earlier, maybe the run now setting up the pass.
So Avant is going to start getting close to flirting with 100 yards. He gets a break here, and sophomore Michael Walker from Indianapolis Southport checks into the game. He averages over 6 yards per carry in his 20 carries this season. He'll get a little bit of room on his first touch of the day. 3 or 4 yards before he's pushed out of bounds.
May have been a hold by the team in red that was let go there on the edge, but that happens in about every football game.
We'll see. Maybe they'll have more success running the ball around the edges. A couple plays there in a row, and maybe Don Morrell and the Little Giants have found something here as we head to the fourth.
So DePauw has been able to stop the Wabash running game much of the way. The Little Giants are starting to heat up on this frigid November day in Crawfordville. It's the Monon Bell Classic for the 125th time. We head to the fourth quarter. Wabash up by 10. To the fourth quarter of the Monon Bell Classic at Wabash this year. This historic Division III matchup since 1890, every year since 1911. This is the 125th version. We start the fourth quarter with Isaac Avant on second down, getting the football straight up the middle to the 35-yard line in DePauw territory. Wabash leading by 10. By the way, Wabash, watching the scoreboard a little bit today, they're 8-1. Three-way tie for first in the NCAC. Well, Denison has already locked up the automatic bid. They won at Kenyon 61-7, while Wittenberg, also 7-1, leads at Wooster 27-21. So tie is the best that Wabash can do. Quick throw over the middle, and that's another first down. That's Ryan Thomas making the catch. That was a bullet.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. Run down the field, turn to the inside, find the opening. And nice throw by Jake, just like you used to do, Brad, finding that opening and making the catch.
Yeah, it's nice when you have that room to run. You can just settle down, an easy pass from the quarterback. And it's another example of, run, and finally the passing lanes open up over the middle. And Wabash is threatening to put the first points to the board on the second half for either team here.
It's a slower start for Isaac Avant, but he's over 100 yards rushing now, 24 for 104. Gets it again and had some room, but slipped as he tried to make the cutback. At the 21 is where he will be marked, so a pickup of 3. There's a flag on the play.
It's against Wabash.
54.
Holding.
Freshman Dane Smith.
54. Okay. 10 yards to the previous spot. Repeat first down.
It's, by the way, the 5th 100-yard rushing game for Avant this season. Take away those 3 for the moment, leaving at 104. He's going to get plenty of opportunities with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Now it's first down and a whole bunch on 1st and 20. Avant up the middle, trying to push his way forward. Not happening that time.
Let's see what happens the next couple of plays. With that hold, that could be a big-time play in this football game. If the DePauw defense is able to stiffen up right here, you'd be in a tough spot of the field for Don Morrell deciding what he would want to do. So that's a big-time hold. But still a couple of plays here for Wabash to try to pick that first down.
Yeah, because Wabash doesn't get any positive yards here, and you're definitely out of field goal range. And yeah, you're right.
Zach Williams and Anthony Sansone made that stop for DePauw. Second down now and 21 from the DePauw 34. It's Avant again. Nothing inside. Cuts outside. Has room. 30, 25. Down the left sideline. Out of bounds inside the 20. Setting up a manageable 3rd down.
Just no one outside there for DePauw. And great job by Avant to run right into the defense and then kick it out and find daylight.
Well, kind of the heavy formation, Wabash kind of packs it in there, and I know they Wabash wanted to throw out of that formation as well, but you don't have to when you can just seal the edge and let one of the fastest guys on the team get to the outside.
And here's where you have to have discipline if you're DePauw. Still 3rd and long, 3rd and medium here. You've got to make sure you're watching your man, you're staying in your area, play action pass right here. We've seen the very creative play calling from Don Morrell in these type of situations.
3rd down and 7. They can't give up a touchdown here. Field goal or less still keeps them in the game. And this is out of bounds on 3rd down. And this is anything but a chip shot field goal right here. I would think they might consider going for it. No, they are going to kick it here. And Skylar Narig is just 4 of 10 for the season with a long of 39. He's also missed 6 PATs. And this is going to be about a 37-yarder.
It has been an adventure kicking field goals this year for the Giants.
4th down and 7. Remember the 2 fakes last year. Same guy as the holder. It's Austin Nightingale. DePauw is certainly prepared for that as well. Snap is down. Kick is up. Plenty of leg, and it hits the uprights. No good.
Well, you go back to that hold again right there, pulling the offense back a little bit and then forcing the field goal. And heck, they're 2 yards closer. That thing might just sneak in the upright.
Yeah, you're right.
Eric had plenty of distance on that, and it just kept fading to the right and even hit the inside of that upright and did not get the lucky bounce. So, more life for DePauw. And that would not have clinched it. Still would have been within a 2-score game. But gives DePauw some more options, but they have to start moving the football.
Yeah, something they couldn't do their last possession after the interception.
No, they
really need to move the ball.
They really haven't done this half, even after getting 2 interceptions. The Wabash defense is stepping up.
From their 20, it's an end around to Andy Hunt, and he's got a little room and a first down out to the 35-yard line.
And that's what you want if you're DePauw. Give yourself a little bit more breathing room, get some momentum. You got guys clapping over there on the sideline and see if you can build on this for the offense.
Andy Hunt has picked up his 40th career touchdown catch today, and he's also had a couple of nice runs on end arounds. He only rushed for 41 yards on the season on 13 attempts. Back to pass, Andrees, quick over the middle, caught at the marker again, and a first down for Will Harris, a pickup of 11 or 12, just inside Wabash territory.
I think that's Chase Andrews at his best. We've seen some throws from him, really strong arm, and when he can get that thing through a seam there, he's got an accurate arm, a strong arm, and a great catch by the wide receiver.
Yeah, and you can feel a little momentum building on the team in white here, a couple big plays.
Andrees is just a sophomore from Pittsburgh, went to Beech Grove High School. This is a big building block for his future too. Handoff up the middle, gets 3 or 4 yards for DeMarco Henry, the senior from Ben Davis in Indianapolis.
Using Hunt as a decoy that time, which I would do too. Put the linebackers in a pickle, seeing Hunt flying across and then giving it up the middle.
Clock a factor, 11:15 to play. DePauw has all 3 timeouts when they start to need them. Second down from the Wabash 47. Andrees throws over towards the right sideline. It's caught by Hunt, and he'll step out of bounds.
Really nice timing play there. You know, Hunt faked like he was going to go deep and then stop on the comeback route. Ball already in the air, turn around, there it is, an easy pitch and catch.
You know, for me, hearing that Chase Andrees, you know, can really run with his feet and his throwing is a little suspect, or else I read into that. I'm not seeing that at all, because that, again, was a nice tight spiral and right where it needed to be.
Yeah, his arms look pretty good when the timing's on. Good strong arms, nice throws the last couple of plays.
Enough for a first down. We've talked about the Matt Labus injuries the last 2 years. Andrees actually had one last year as well. Here's a handoff off to the left side for Hunt, straight up the middle for a big gainer inside the 15-yard line.
Now this is when you ride your studs in the fourth quarter of a big game, and that's what DePauw is doing here with Andy Hunt on the ground in the air. And you watch just a great cutback right here by Hunt to pick up quite a bit of extra yards and pause in business.
Yeah, with Andy Hunt, I would be riding him all game. I mean, he's a playmaker. You can see it on that one. You know, he's one of those players there, guys, where he just made that look easy, like cutting back as if it was, wasn't any effort in it, just finding the opening.
7 catches on the day, but he's got it done with his legs as well. Now Andrees back to pass on first down. He will keep it himself. Cuts outside 15. Still has a chance to throw it if he wants, and will get knocked out of bounds at about the 14 with a flag down also on the play. A lot of times when a quarterback keeps dancing like that, I didn't see anything, but usually a good chance there's a hold.
Yeah, just a lot of time for an offensive lineman to try to protect his quarterback.
Here's the call.
During the run, legal blocking back, number 7.
Or there's that too, like on a
First
punch.
down.
Yeah, I think, and what's tough there, I don't know who did they call it on Hunt? I think they said 17.
Yeah.
I think what's tough there is Andy doesn't know if Andrew's going to actually run with the ball, turn into a runner, if he's still trying to throw, and that's what happened here,
Yeah. So Andy's down in a pattern, comes back to try to give his quarterback some room, and a clear block in the back.
Moving back to the 22-yard line. First down and 20. Draw play straight up the middle. Henry will get some of that back. Inside the 15, maybe the 14-yard line. Back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, that was a hard run, kind of bringing some energy to that offense. Bishop Rhodes for Wabash, number 10, definitely felt that one.
A day like today, you feel them too. It's a little chilly.
I felt it
there.
watching it.
Second and 12 now. From the Wabash 14, DePauw trailing in the bell game by 10, and they'll need to use a timeout. The first one they will have to burn.
Yeah, Bill Lynch must have really seen something he didn't like there, because you don't love to have to call a timeout at that point.
Andy Hunt, we knew was going to be someone to watch coming in this game, and he has answered the call again. Touchdown on a fade, big play up the middle. He's done it on the ground as well. Andy Hunt, one of the great players in DePauw history. Top 3 in virtually every receiving category. He leads active Division III players in the nation in career touchdowns with 40, and he's 4th at all levels.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive when you think of all the schools playing NCAA football. To be fourth at all of those levels among active players is pretty crazy.
We need a big play from him or someone else here soon. Second down and 12 from the Wabash 14, trailing by 10 after the timeout. 9:24 to play. Wabash trying to bring the bell back to Greencastle, rolling out, throwing to the right. Hunt makes the catch, and he's out of bounds. Short of the first down, I think. What are they marking? Yeah, marking at the 10. Still needs 8 to go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, you'd like to get the touchdown here and play yourself within 3, but a field goal still very much helps you if you're DePauw. Just, don't do anything silly here. Make sure you take care of the football.
So they need the 2 from the 10. Third down and 8. Andrews back to pass. Here comes the rush. Rolling to his right. Going to keep it. Down the right sideline. Reaches for the marker. Pushed out of bounds. It depends on the spot. He got inside the 5, but where did he reach? Looks like he's standing at the 4-yard line, so he's going to be 2 yards short. And Andrews comes up hobbling a little bit. We've already lost Matt Labus, who came back from his torn ACL to play a bit last week, started this one, but left early. And now Andrews hobbled ahead of a critical 4th and 2 from the 4 coming up.
And if Coach Lynch was thinking about going for it there, I think it made up his mind seeing his quarterback out there hobbling around. Kick it, like you said, Brad, 2 scores down.
Makes perfect sense. And Jake Tanner is in for the field goal. This would be a 21-yard attempt.
Delay game?
So making a 26-yard attempt. Tanner has range to about 39 or 40. So this should still be well within his range, but every time you move back, it means if you're a little bit wide, you just don't have as much margin for error.
Right.
So it all matters. His longest of years, 43, by the way. Tanner, 14 of 18 this season on field goals. Snap down, kick is up, plenty of leg, and it is good. 8:17 left. DePauw within a touchdown. That's the 15th field goal of the season, by the way, for Jake Tanner, which ties Marco Adams for the most in a season in DePauw history. He had 15 a couple of years ago. So it's a 1-score game. 8:17 to play for the Monon Bell. Stay with us and find out who gets possession for another year. The 125th Monon Bell Classic is presented by the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Monon Bell, 300-pound locomotive bell from the Monon Railroad, was in operation from 1847 through 1970 before merging with the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. It's what connected the campuses. DePauw is about 28 miles south of here. We're just northwest of Indianapolis, just south of Lafayette. Just north of Greencastle. And we've got a 1-score game. Wabash getting the ball back, up by a touchdown, 24-17. And this is a short one returned out to about the 38-yard line.
It's an interesting kick there. I think, wanted to keep it away from Avant, but short kick, and now Wabash has pretty good field position.
It seemed intentional, didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't seem like just a poor kick.
Tanner Skeel, a backup quarterback, with the short return, and we saw the quarterback for DePauw, Chase Andrews, hobbling a little bit. Katie, what do you know?
Well, Kevin, I came over to the DePauw sideline to check in and see what exactly happened with Chase Andrews after we saw Matt Labus also hobble off the field and end his game in the first quarter. I asked the medical staff what happened, and they said they can only tell me that Chase Andrews will continue playing, so it can't be that serious, guys.
Avant gets it here on first down. He's starting to heat up, over 100 yards, and didn't look like he had a whole lot, but he still got 6 on that play.
Yeah, he's really having success running outside, Steve.
Yeah, and he's getting pretty good, like I said, cutting up this year. He really came into his own, and wouldn't you know, we're in another bell game, guys, and we're within a score with under 8 minutes to go in the game.
I think there's two things to watch from that last DePauw drive. One, Andrews, who will come back out, but might be a little hobbled. And two, they had to use that timeout, and I don't think Bill Lynch wanted to do that, and that could be a big factor going forward.
Right.
117 yards on 24 carries now for Avant. With the clock in their favor, he'll get it again and close to the first down. And it looks like where the officials are coming in, that will be enough to move the chains. It is a first down for Isaac Avant. Over 1,000 yards this season. Is not expected to get that many carries. Like James, leading the conference rushing last year. Austin Hoover, senior from Sheridan High School. But Avant has got it done, and he never was the workhorse in Warren Central, the powerhouse in Indianapolis either. But here he has been for Wabash. First down incomplete for Oliver Page. Second down and coming up. Avant is just about at his season average. 115 per game, he's just surpassed that. Paul did a great job on him early, where they kept coming at him.
It's one of those, you look at the box score, you think 115 yards, what we saw in the first half of the game, but now quickly those are piling up here in the second half.
Yeah.
Second down just shy of midfield from their own 48. Avant again, and he will break free with some daylight into the secondary, and it's going to take 4 or 5 white, gold, and black shirts to wrap him up. It's another first down for Wabash.
And that's something this offensive line has done this year, and this offensive line has taken pride in. Burning Slager, McAtee, Phelps, and Smith, just really trying to wear down defenses. But I know the DePauw defense is physical as well. But those guys, Brad, you alluded to it earlier, those guys have been on the field a long time this second half.
Yeah, they really have. Starting to get tired. I think it's starting to show a little bit. That DePauw defense really needs to clamp down here.
136 rushing now for Isaac Avant. He'll get another chance, looking left side. Tries to cut it in. Another 3 or 4 to the 34, and the clock continues to work in Wabash's favor. And DePauw's in the situation they've been in so many times this season. They've lost 5 times. 4 of those, though, they had the ball with a chance to tie the game on the last possession, and that's where they stand right now if they can get a stop. At the 35 of DePauw, second down and 8. Do we see anything other than Avant getting it right now? Shotgun. Reed, Avant again, left side. Tiptoes his way for a yard or two, never does go down. Forward progress stop, whistle blows, and it's a third down coming up.
We're talking about the offensive line. You see the big number 64 right there walking Jake Slager. Also another player. Actually, Jake Slager played high school ball, was a lineman for Ike James, a running back we mentioned who's been injured. They both played at Lowell High School, so they know each other well.
Big third down coming up here. Could be 4-down territory. It's too far for a field goal, probably too close to punt. So maybe 2 to get the 6 yards needed, but Avant won't need it. He'll get it on third down, straight up the gut for another first down for Wabash.
That's just killer for DePauw. I mean, it looked like they had Avant near the line of scrimmage, tripped him up, and he was able to stay on his feet and lunge forward very close to the marker here. Thought he had it.
Let's see on the spot. It is not apparent, so they are going to have to measure. He was tripped up, so it just depends on where that knee went down the first time. So a measurement with 4:57 to play. Wabash up by a touchdown. DePauw trying to get the football back.
But no question, if this is short, this is 4-down territory here, I think. I mean, you're probably not gonna kick after the last missed field goal. You're definitely not gonna punt.
Oh, look how close that is. I think he's got it by an inch.
Gotta get out
they move it again. Now he's an inch short.
Oh, jeez.
Gotta get out the index card like Ed Hockley did in the NFL game. See if it slips in there.
That's a good call, Steve, because that's not even a full chain link, is it?
If it was a short one.
When you can show how far they have to go with one hand, you know it's close.
So fourth down. A first down doesn't seal the game, but a stop gives DePauw an excellent opportunity and plenty of time with 2 stops. Bunch formation. Panola is the back. Reed We'll give it to Panola, and he'll dive forward. Should be enough for the first down. They're going to mark it at the 25. He's got the first down and a yard or two more. Move the chains and roll the clock for Wabash.
Yeah, it shows what kind of push the offensive line is starting to get, because he jumped in the air and he looked like he went nowhere, but he got 2 yards in that. My point is, by the time he got to the line, there was already a yard further.
Yeah, that's just a big, tough runner. He just breathes first downs, it looks like. I mean, I don't think any question who was getting the ball there. Panola.
The linebacker, Krupe, stood him up, but it was the movement up front that allowed that first down opportunity. So now Avant goes to work again, and this time he stopped. He's going to lose a couple on this one.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need there if you're DePauw. Try to drop him for a loss a little bit on the clock. We'll keep running, but you know, by no means is Wabash in comfortable field goal territory as we saw here. I mean, they're going to need a first down.
No, I don't even think Wabash would even attempt it from where we are now. I mean, anything over 40 yards, I just don't think, with how this season is going with kickers, that we would try it.
Matt Mitch from Cathedral, Brody Good make the tackles. Second down, 14. From their own 29, clock continues to roll. Wabash with the ball and a 1-touchdown lead. Avant runs into the back of one of his linemen, but second effort gets him to the 25 and picks up another 4. Third down and about 10 coming.
Yeah, it's getting interesting play calling time here. And, you know, we start looking at the clock, and, you know, we're down to 3:25 left in the game, and these last 5 minutes have gone just really quickly. And, you know, that comes into the play calling where Coach Morrell, you want to keep it on the ground, keep that clock rolling. And if you don't get any points, DePauw gets it back with not a lot of time left.
Yeah, you just have to be so aware here, again, as the DePauw defense, because Don Morrell has shown that he's willing to do about anything at any time.
Wabash has thrown 3 interceptions today, too, so they will keep it on the ground. Avant stutter stepping, dancing his way forward, gets another 5, and that's big because this was really 2-down territory. So from 3rd and 10 now to about 4th and 5 coming up. Looks like 4th and about 6.
Would think you'd try to kick this one. Doesn't look like we are. I mean, it would be a, 37-yarder.
I think so, too, Steve. I mean, look, a field goal essentially ends the game.
That's right.
Here, right? And if you miss the field goal, I mean, I guess DePauw could score a touchdown to go for 2 like we saw last year, but I mean, I think a field goal here, you essentially win the game.
When you got to look at the alternative, you got to convert a 4th and 6 play.
And now Wabash will use a timeout.
Interesting there that they decided not to let the clock run a bit more before calling that timeout.
Was there still time on the play clock?
There was about
not
much, but a few seconds.
Yes.
I wondered if DePauw might call it immediately, but I think their thinking was, well, we don't want to really give them time to set up and get a chance to really think about this. So if they want to try to convert, they're probably going to have to burn a timeout, and we'll have 2 more if and when we get the ball back. And the field goal unit is on the field again. Avant, by the way, has rushed for 150 yards on 36 carries. If he carries it one more time, that'll be a career high.
Wow.
He's got a ways to go to get a career high in rushing, because he's gone over 200 a couple of times this season, including a career high 229 last week against Alligator.
Yeah, and once Coach Morrell starts giving him the ball, I mean, he gives him the ball. I mean, you can see, I mean, he's getting the ball on, it seems like 4 out of 5 plays this second half. The one thing Coach Morrell has shown since he's been the head coach here at Wabash is if he finds something that works, he's just going to keep doing it, and he loves to run the ball if it's successful.
So Narig was on the field to think about a field goal. Would have been a 38-yarder. He just hit the upright from 37. Now they're going to go for it from the 20. 4th down and 6. Reed back to pass, throws, and it's incomplete. Knocked down, and DePauw is going to get the football back with 2:06 to go.
I'm just really surprised that we didn't attempt a field goal there. Nobody knows players like the coaches. But he must have had something he thought would be open. Brad.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some guys there. I mean, that play definitely had a chance to get a first down. But, great job initially by the DePauw defense there, causing the pump fake. And then, good job by the secondary. I am too, though, Steve. I think, like we said, field goal. I know you haven't had the best success with it so far this season, but that essentially wins the game if you can kick it.
And the other thing that can happen in a field goal, let's not forget, you could get a bad snap, you could get a block, and a block you could run back for a score. That'd be another way to give up an easy score.
So it's a one-score game. 2:06 to play for the Monon Bell. DePauw on the road, down a touchdown, starting from their 21. They have 2 timeouts and just over 2 minutes to play. Andrews rolling, throwing, and he's got a man caught out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Will Harris makes the catch. They only used 7 seconds on that play.
Harris was wide open for a while. You almost wondered if Andrews was going to eventually see him rolling out. Nice pitch and catch.
Yeah, and I don't know what Andrews hurt, but he sure looked nimble enough there and getting out of that pocket. He's pretty elusive back there.
He throws really well across his body, moving to the left from the gun, looking up the middle, eludes one tackler straight over the top, and it's Harris again, caught just inside Wabash territory at the 48-yard line. First down, DePauw. Clock stops with 1:52 after the 13-yard pickup.
And with those 2 quick strikes, I mean, the clock, not as much of a factor as it was just a minute ago.
Andrews back to pass, looking to the right. Harris again, 3rd catch in a row, out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Second down, call it the 45, second down and 6.
Now Andrews is coming out firing on all cylinders right here. And, 3 for 3 on this drive. And feel like the Wabash defense on their heels a little bit here and need to get something to happen.
Harris over 30 catches on the season, has been the favorite target this time around. Andy Hunt this time stopped up a little bit short on the slant. That's incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 6.
Well, and Coach Ramsey might be thinking the same thing. Brought 5 people that time to try to get a little pressure. It wasn't a factor in that play, but I think Coach Ramsey on defense is going to try to get this mixed up a little bit, kind of mix up the timing.
It's been said home field doesn't matter that much in this game. It's always been close, but the Wabash fans come to their feet now at Little Giant Stadium. 3rd and 6 for DePauw, and Andrews is in trouble. He almost goes down. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it's 4th down and about 5. With 1.5 minutes to go and the clock ticking, DePauw will use one of those timeouts. At 1:29 left, they have 1 timeout to go.
Yeah, just nowhere for Andrews to go. I mean, Wabash brought the pressure, the pocket collapsed, and had he made the decision to pull the ball down maybe a split second earlier, maybe he gets through that seam and picks up a 1st down. But here we go. This is 4th down. I mean, this is the game right now for DePauw, and a chance to try to continue this.
Wabash won the Bell game last year, trying to maintain possession. DePauw won it 2 years ago. Wabash has controlled in recent years, winning 8 of the last 9 to take an advantage in the all-time series, 61, 54, and 9 in the 124 previous Monon Bell Classics. This play will go a long way towards determining the 125th.
You've got the ball on the far hash there. Andrews has really done a nice job of rolling here to the near side to his left. And, if I'm DePauw, I try to put him in motion, give him a chance to maybe pick something up with his legs if he can't through the air.
It'll be interesting to see if the Wabash, if they bring in pressure, just rush the front 4 there.
DePauw has to convert to keep their hopes alive. Andrews being chased, rolling to the right. He's in trouble, and he is out of bounds, or did he scoop it inbounds? Either way, they're going to lose possession. If he stayed in bounds, it's an interception, and Wabash is going to win the 125th Monon Bell.
Well, I'm just not sure about that one. I mean, Andrews got flushed out of the pocket pretty quick. We'd have to look at the replay, see where some of his reads were down the field, but never looked like he felt really comfortable where he was trying to go, and quickly ran out of bounds, or ran out of room on the sideline.
Yeah, and to give credit to the front 4 there, pushing him out of the pocket. And he did get stretched out a little bit. May get a little antsy feet, but at that point right there, Brad, is I think what you were referencing. You just got to throw it up somewhere.
And he stayed in bounds, so give Jacob Macaluso credit for the interception. This will be the vantage point that sees it. And you're right, he knew he had nowhere to go, but don't run out of bounds. Throw it and hope there's a deflection and something happens. So credit to Andrews for trying to keep the play alive.
And it looked like pretty good pass protection, actually, and got a little antsy, but he's had success in getting out of the pocket today.
Yeah, it makes you wonder where some of the reads were down the field. Protection was pretty good. Again, I'm just surprised you didn't see him roll out this way. I tried to extend the play a bit, but hey, great job by the Wabash defense there to clamp down after that great start to the drive for DePauw.
Yeah, sure looked like they were going to go down the field.
And once again, for the 5th time this season, Bill Lynch's team will have a chance to tie it late in the game and come up short. DePauw uses their final timeout. They cannot stop it again with 1:11 to play. Wabash will be able to run out the clock the rest of the way.
And you're going to see some, some camera work here. It's great camera work. Some of the seniors. I mean, this is all, Brad. We haven't talked about this much. This is all about the seniors. This is the seniors' last football game of their life. These guys aren't going to the NFL. It's not true with any other sport, but the sport of football, once you're done playing college football or high school football, whenever you're done, you're done. You don't put the pads on again, and just a little extra at the end of the game.
Yeah, Steve, you're right on. I mean, the emotions that go into this game, 364 days a year leading up to this, and this week is so special for so many of these kids and their parents, their families, the coaches, and the campuses themselves, and all culminating here. It's just a huge moment, especially for these Wabash seniors now.
And the underclassmen want to win it for the seniors. You hear that language every year.
Reed takes a knee. 3rd down coming up. Now Wabash does have a chance to play again. They'll find out Sunday evening if they get one of the at-large bids after a 9-1 season, 8-1 in the NCAC.
Yeah, it's probably a long shot. We were talking about it before the game that Wabash would get an at-large bid. Typically the NCAC does not pick up one of those 5 national at-large bids.
For the final time, Jake Reed takes a knee. He will not need to take another snap for the 9th time in the last 10 years. The Wabash Little Giants have won the Monon Bell Classic, the 2018 version, a final. Wabash 24, DePauw 17. And the home fans can enjoy some sunshine on an otherwise very cold day in Crawfordsville. We saw another good one today.
Yeah, we really did. It's 3 years in a row. This game has been really good going down to the final possessions for either of these teams. And I think a bit of a microcosm of DePauw's season with the injuries, with what they had close in it almost every week, but just coming up short. But Wabash, 9 of the last 10. And this has really been a dominant run for the Little Giants. But great to see another close game this afternoon.
You said it, microcosm of their season. We talked to Coach Lynch before the game, and he said, in all but one of our losses, in 4 of our 5 losses, we have had the chance at the end of the game to tie or take the lead, and we just haven't gotten it done. You could put this in that category. They did have that chance, but they had enough big plays that they should have had more points off those turnovers.
Down to the field, Katie Hargitt is with Wabash coach Don Morrell.
And the Wabash students have just rushed the field here at Wabash College with Coach Don Morrell in a year that your team overcame some incredible obstacles to even take the field. How much more special does that make this win?
It's incredible to know what these kids have gone through in the last 8 weeks of their very, very young lives. And to end it like this is truly special. It tells you about Wabash College and the integrity and just the kind of kid we get here. And DePauw played a great game too.
I feel like over and over and over again, the guys upstairs were saying, Isaac Avant. How key today was he in that win?
Really key because he's really the only running back we have left, so he's got to play all the time. Super job, great kid, talented, he's an entrepreneur. You can't believe all the stuff that the guy does.
You got time to go celebrate this one, Coach. Congratulations.
Isaac Avant finished with 150 yards rushing on the day. And the obstacles Katie and Coach Morrell spoke about. The passing of the outstanding linebacker Evan Hansen after week 2. What a season for this team. Back down to Katie.
And I have found Isaac Avant. And Isaac, I just talked to Coach about how over and over again, we were just hearing your name. You were so key in today's win. When you saw that ball coming for you, what were you thinking?
I was just thinking about making the play. The O-line opened it up, and I was just making the play.
How special is this win for you guys in a year that you sometimes didn't even want to play football? There were other life things going on.
This is very special. We wanted to end it out and give Evan's parents a ring, so we did that today.
All right, congratulations, Isaac.
All right, thank you, Katie. Special day for Isaac Avant, who will be back, just a junior. And you guys can speak to this for the seniors. It's very special. This game, though, is more than just about the team. I think that's one of the things that makes this so special. It's about the students and the communities.
It's the only game that they play in where you feel like you have an entire alumni body watching. I mean, and they're literally watching because, we had 60-some sites around the country where Wabash alumni and most of the time DePauw alumni actually get together to watch the game around the country. So there's a little extra weight. You feel like the whole community is really counting on you.
You put it perfect, Steve. You're doing this for that side bet, for that joke in a conference room in a meeting. You're doing it for friends and alumni of yours that you talk to maybe once a year through text. But these players out here know that they're playing for something more than just their teammates and the entire communities of these two institutions. Another great game.
And the bell is being carried off. Wabash retains possession. It will stay here in Crawfordsville. If you've not been to this event, you need to make plans. Next November in Greencastle, some point. This is a must-see. Wabash finishes the season at 9-1, 24-17 win over DePauw in the Monon Bell Classic. Thanks to our crew. Great work today. Thanks for joining us today from Hall at Little Giant Stadium. For Brad Wochomurka, Steve Hoffman, and Katie Hargitt, I'm Kevin Lee. The Monon Bell Classic for the 125th time stays with the Wabash Little Giants.